And welcome to Bankhauser Reserve on the Gold Coast, round 10 NEAFL Class, top of the table. The unbeaten Brisbane Lions playing away to the Southport Sharks. Andrew Brown and Craig Starr-Switch in commentary with you. And Southport will be kicking with the aid of a very handy breeze in this first term. And welcome on, Craig. Should be a fantastic clash.
Yes, Brownie, really looking forward to this. We probably were a good 3 or 4 down to the northern end.
Big Billy Longer playing in this Brisbane Lions reserves, taking a pull out to Callum Bartlett, just worse of centre, and Banfield will take a mark low to the ground. But a player over the top though, and Ryan Harwood, the skipper for today, that is ignored. See that ball just hanging up in the breeze, as you can see there. Ball dumped back to the centre by Southport, straight back in the arms of Paparone. Couldn't quite get the kick away in time though. Coming through was might have been Fraser Pope there for the Sharks, and the umpire will come in and bounce the ball down. Your selection quickly to put you on the spot, Stars?
Oh, look, still probably the Lions, Brownie, at this point, but they're a little bit depleted with a few guys going up to the senior group, notably Sam Michael, but probably still expecting the Lions to be pretty strong today.
Early free kick to the Pope. Fraser for Southport. Umpire Andrew Stevens giving that free kick and found a target out wide. So Southport ready to go for their first foray into the forward line. Of course, they're missing their gun full forward. Got plenty of tank, armoury down there, and Hughes. Good support from behind from the Brisbane Lions. The first score, a minor one this afternoon here at Southport. And the home team one behind. The Lions yet to score.
Yeah, the temptation here, Brownie, is to bomb it long into your forward line when you've got the breeze, and Jordan Burke read that really well over the back of the pack.
And the Lions have to do a lot of work, of course, coming out of the defence. They did this one well. Banfield goes out wide as they're going over the line looking for Cornelius on the full. And it has. The free kick will go to Southport. And the resultant free kick here to Liam McNevin. The youngster right on the interchange wing here. Early stages. Southport have it by behind. They need to capitalise with this win. Oh, Hughes had plenty all over him. We'll get the free kick. And that'll be the other thing too for the defenders, Craig, won't it? Judging this wind and when they can go for the big spoil.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just gave Jordan Burke a little bit of a rap there before reading it well. That time not so good, probably crashing into the back of his direct opponent in Hughes and paying the penalty. So, yeah, going to be a tough day for the tall guys to judge the fly of the ball in the breeze.
Who knows what it's all about, kicking goals, the number 7 for Southport. Where do you think you're aiming here? Outside the right goal post, at the breeze bring it around?
I'll be going right post, yeah, for sure.
So right behind Cleve Hughes here. I'll tell you what, we're not bad judges, are we? Oh no, he's just hit the post at the last moment, so look at me going through.
Well, he hurt us, mate. We said right post and he hit it, so well done, Cleve. But just probably didn't come back as much as he thought at that point.
Second behind for Southport. And as we mentioned, the Brisbane Lions have to work very hard to get the ball past or into their forward line in this first term, kicking into this stiff breeze. They're trying to work it out by hand. Comes to that player there in Jordan Burke. Got the handball away, looking for Chris. Players, they were brought down and over the line. How the umpire pay it? It will be a boundary throw in, as we saw Fraser Pope and Jack Crisp in action there.
And extracting your ball out of your defensive 50 down this end is going to be problematic, Brownie, with the breeze. So spotting up targets is going to be really tough in this wind.
Weymouth for the Sharks and Longer for the Lions. Doing the ruck work there. The ball didn't travel very far, so high up and under. And good fist away there by Calinetti. Sees the ball once again over the boundary line.
And Southport pressing right up for this stoppage. Brownie really got a lot of numbers around the ball. Umpires picked out a free.
We're seeing a lot of this in the AFL as well. A lot of free kicks off the ball, so the umpires with their eyes open, and the free kick going to the big ruckman in Weymouth. Sends the ball deep into attack. Now, who's at the back there for Southport? Who can pick up the crumbs? It was just the Lions' defence doing well and happy to concede a behind at this stage. So, early stages, 3.5 minutes to the first term. 3 behinds to the home team, the Southport Sharks, and the Lions yet to score. The kick-in duties there by Lachlan Dignan. He's going to try and favour the outer side this time. Now they try and bring it back. It goes to Harwood. 14 listed players the Lions are using this afternoon in this round 10 clash. Now, good work by Cornelius. Got himself free on the wing. One of the better marks in the comp, no doubt about that. He booted 8 last week. He sends the ball off inboard and he finds Jesse O'Brien running past Harwood. So the Lions working hard into the breeze. And he teams up once again with Cornelius.
I think Ryan Harwood's got the right idea here. He's trying to run the ball up rather than spot kick up on the way through. So set up that play very well.
Now, going to try and run it through over, use the handball. There's plenty of black and white jumpers are sitting in that Lions forward line. Somehow Harwood got it back though and sends up to Callan Bartlett. Know all about his history. Just good to see him out in the park playing plenty of footy. O'Brien worked hard. Little grubber kick though. Wasn't directed, but I went into a teammate's hand there, and Michael Close. He's one of the rookie listed players, one of the draftees from last year.
Yeah, it's going to be messy on the way up, I reckon, Brownie, into this breeze. So from Brisbane's point of view, they've really got to rely on running the ball up as Billy Longer contests the ball there in the ruck against Weymouth.
And diving forward there, looking for it was Hayden Keel. Couldn't quite pull it in like a slips catch on that occasion. Ball ending up with Andrew McQualter, of course, the former son and Saint. Ball's going to get back to him. No, he doesn't. Harwood, trying to toe poke, the tackle right at the last minute by McQualter. Forced the error out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Sharks once again. Inboard it went to the skipper, Dan Wise. Looking to centre, can he find the target there? And Pope eventually did. A bit dangerous, they're kicking to the corridor, but they're kicking with the wind in this turn, though, Southport. Tackle over the shoulder. Played by umpire number 14 there, Ryan Downs. And the free kick going to the Sharks.
It was Richard Newell, I think, the tackler out there, Brownie, just a little bit sloppy with his approach there.
So Thine with a big thump forward. Once again, the line to the numbers. Soccer kick off the ground there by Big Pepperoni as far as Pope. 2 Ps combining there in short, and did travel a distance. It did, and the mark's been taken by Ben Headland.
And this is gettable, Brownie, with this breeze, I would have thought. He's just right on the, or just inside 50, the man on the mark will stand.
Now give yourself a boost, Stars. How far would you kick with the breeze? About 80, 90 metres?
Oh, easily, mate. Yeah, on a day like today. Oh, he's given a handball off.
He has 2, and it might be there to Thine, and a high kick once again off target though. Cut to the skipper, Danny Wise, and has missed everything out of bounds in the full. So a bit surprised Headland did back his own judgment on that occasion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an interesting day, isn't it? I mean, you've got the breeze at your back. We've already seen a couple of long inside 50 entries by Southport. Really, you've got to lower your eyes and resist the temptation to really bomb it long. You think you've got this great assistance with the breeze, but you've still got to spot up the best target inside your forward 50.
Streaming live on NEAFL TV. And we're going 6.5 minutes, 3 behind to the Sharks. And the Lions yet to score. Once again, the Lions, luckily for us, they're favouring the broadcast side. The play's not over the other side of the ground, but they can't get out of that defence at 50. Southport can go on the attack again. Wise has it now. Looking for a teammate just over inside the 50. On that occasion it was Burge, he missed him. And the Lions have elected to go back. And Harwood finding a teammate there, the last line of defence. Might have been Pepperoni, he's going to get the ball back here. We fumble at the vital stage. Over the ball, a chance here for Mallon. For Southport, the ball taken over, and Harwood doing a heap of work there in the back line. Now there's a chance there for Close. The race is on. Up against the veteran there in James for Southport. Ball ends up though with Burge. Kicks the ball back, but good work there on the half-forward line by number 49, Lachlan Nyland Rowe.
Yeah, they just switched the ball out this side of the ground now, Brown, and they've got lots of numbers in Bartlett, who's got a couple of players presenting for him.
Good use of the bench there, just coming on. There was number 52, Daniel Henderson for the Lions. He goes in short, plays a free. Bartlett's going to run in again. Their first foray into attack the Brisbane Lions. Good kick by Bartlett over the head of Cornelius off the ground. He gets it through. Well, after Southport have dominated the play with the breeze, clever work by the Lions, and Cornelius gets his first for the afternoon.
It's going to be hard work, isn't it, pushing up into the breeze, and a couple of guys that have really taken that on. We spoke about Ryan Harwood across the back line for the Lions, is prepared to actually run and follow up and get the second possession, and Callum Bartlett did exactly the same thing there by having a chain of possession, starting on the wing here in front of us, Brownie, and ending up popping the ball to the advantage of Aaron Cornelius, who finished off the work up forward. So really, to run the ball up into this breeze is probably the best approach. The Lions just probably need more than just Harwood and Bartlett at this point, helping out in that manner.
As we said, good use of the interchange bench as well, creating that loose man. So the first goal of the afternoon here to the unbeaten Lions, courtesy of Aaron Cornelius. It came at the 8.5 minute mark, and they led it by 3 points. As the players dive on top of the ball, the umpire will come in. So recapping the umpires for this afternoon: number 7, Andrew Stevens; 14, Ryan Downs; and 15, James Waldorf. And the umpires really standing out in the bottle green, if you like, these two teams this afternoon. Southport went forward. Paperone did well, got the ball over the top, just outside of defensive 50. Harwood waiting on the outside, sends the ball on here to Banfield. Along the wing, good work there, a juggling attempt by Kurt Nicholas. Couldn't quite bring it down, but Southport have the numbers. Ball back here with Hayden Keel, solidly built Shark, the veteran. And Finds a teammate over the top. They're running down to the forward line from a Qualter. There to Burge. Now the long kick. Players said, well, let it go, Cleve Hughes. He did. And Burge can't believe it. Kicked it from outside 50, but only another minor score to Southport. They now move on to 4 behinds. Coming up to 10-minute mark of the first quarter. And the Lions in front by 2 points. One straight kick. How they go to kick-in starts might have just...
boundary umpires called it out of bounds. I think the Lions player might be a little bit stiff there, Browning. But again, that Southport shot at goal was another long point. I think we're going to see a lot of those this afternoon.
Boundary throw-in takes place. Half-forward line for Southport. Inside their 50. What the Lions can do here. Play held on to it, be penalised. Good tackle there by Southport. And the free kick going to Edward Mullen. And right on the edge of 50, he's looking towards the goals. That ball's coming around. How deep will it go? Right in the last end of defence, and good work by the Brisbane Lions, able to send it through for another behind. Makes it number 5 for Southport. I think Fremantle wish they had a player on the last line defence last week against the Swans. Would have sure to win.
Absolutely.
Said it was a draw. But back here, Southport with the numbers across that half-back line again. McCanch hung on the left wing. But Lions have the numbers back there. Hughes needs a bit more support up there, you would have thought, for Southport. But good work by Bartlett. Gets through traffic, sends the ball out wide. A chance here for Jesse O'Brien. Tackled ground level there by Keel. Tackled high there for Southport was Brock Askey. And he gets the free kick, sends the ball out wide, looking for a centre corridor. Lions with the numbers. Newell, the rookie, did well. Cornelius has to sit over the back, and he timed his judgment well and takes the leaping mark on the centre wing.
He did that really well, didn't he? He's probably matched up on Southport's best defender in Kurt Nicholas, and at the moment he's had a couple of really good telling possessions.
The dangerous kicking into the corridor, or loose tackle there by Longer. Advantage will it be paid? No, it's going to come back here to the Southport player in David James. And from just in between the centre and centre half forward, looking for the lead there from Hughes, none forthcoming. And the Lions, at least their defence is holding up. They like to take the ball out wide this time. Handball comes in board to Dylan Bresnahan. And his player out wide is Nick Hayes. And kicks the ball further afield. The Southport have the numbers. Play there in support was Callan Eddy. Southport do well. Just short of the centre wing. They trail by 1 point. Lions with the only goal of the game so far as we travel over 12.5 minutes of the first quarter. And for the chain of handballs, Southport send the ball down. Unlucky bounce there for Paparone. And picking the ball up there once again was Bresnahan's got Paparone in support. Sent the ball back to him. A wobbly old kick trying to find the centre wing. Picked up by Close. Got the ball over to a teammate. His kicking board is smothered. And it's pretty scrambly out there at the centre wing at the moment.
Going to be very scrappy all day out there, Brownie, and a chain of possession, not really making any ground at all. McKeever battling very hard there.
So number 40, the Irishman. Of course, the other Irishman for the Lions playing well in their senior team, and Pierce Hanley. Got the ball out of bounds. Now Hughes, can he set himself? The punch from behind though with Jordan Burke was effective, and he finds the line once again. Boundary throw in 20 metres around for the Sharks goal. Desperate looking for their first goal of the afternoon.
And yet again, another long bomb into their forward 50, and they've really got to get the message out to their players to start lowering the eyes and spotting up some decent targets.
First time these two teams have met this season, haven't met since last year's quarter-final. Of course, the Brisbane Lions are reigning premiers in the local competition as well as NEAFL. 13.5 minutes played first quarter. Bounce down to take place. Once again, the Southport forward line dominated possession in this first half with this Breeze. Just having trouble converting at the moment.
And the Lions will be really happy with this, Brownie. At the moment, they're just up by the single point, but really, in terms of chewing time off the clock, when you've got the Breeze, it's worth its weight in gold.
You think Cornelius is already looking forward to the second quarter, getting a piece of that leather as well?
You would have thought, so long as the Lions are a little bit more efficient going forward than what Southport are at the moment.
Umpires asking the ruckman to be separated until the ball is thrown in. And it's the number 5 for the Brisbane Lions, Longer. Up against number 8, Daniel Weymouth. Weymouth got the tap down. The Lions first to the ball. And it's crucial in these close contests. And the umpire's Stevens says the ball was held to him. So play held up in the Southport Sharks forward line. Longer doing well, got the ball out only as far as Daniel on that occasion. The mark taken once again, the last line of defence for the Brisbane Lions. And it's McKeever, the Irishman. Long left foot kick, good penetrating kick. Went outside 50 on that occasion. Surprised a few players. But Southport with the numbers on that half back line. Calinetti. He's got the player loose in the centre in Mills. Mills likes to play on. Go all the way, son. He wants to. He does. Outside 50. How far will William carry? I think it did. Oh, there's a video review system here.
Well, we're in an ordinary spot, I've got to say, in terms of having a look at the goal line. But from here, it actually looked like it had a little bit more on it than the other one that was touched on the line. So obviously very, very difficult for us to tell from here, Brownie. But again, another one of those long bombs. Not working for him.
Touched on the line. So scores a level. One scoring shot for the Lions been effective. It was a goal. The Sharks on 6 behinds though. The end result is it's 6 points each. The ball touched off hands. Unlucky there for Billy Long, who's waiting for it. The ball came back here to Mills. Mills found Pope in the centre. Now here's a chance. Running onto the ball. Left foot shot at goal here for the Sharks. This is their first goal. No, wide of the mark goes Stephen Thine. Disappointed with that kick. It has scraped through for a behind. They're in front by that margin. And they got 7 on this first quarter, Southport.
And it definitely frustrates you, Brownie. If you're a Southport player at the moment, you're having a look at the scoreboard and you're thinking half the quarter's gone, we haven't got much to show for it, only the 7 behind. So very, very tough.
Oh, time in forward half be about 90% to 10. I think that'd be the stats at the moment. Paparone's kick smothered there by McQualter. He's trying to get the handball over a teammate. This ball smothered off the boot. On the half forward line, the Lions just outside defensive 50, little chip kick to go 15. Showing good courage on that occasion, as you would expect by the veteran Dan Wise. He took the mark ahead of Longer. And Hughes on the right side. Oh, he just dropped the mark. He probably would have should have taken. And the Lions just have to bomb the ball out of defence. A chance for Eddie down from the back line. What can he do? Hughes another chance. McQualter snapshot. Good work by the Lions. Got the way in the defence. They're forming a wall. O'Brien. Handball comes out into Bartlett. I'll solve the dummy beautiful. Number 13. Now the clearing kick. Ball holding up. Mills goes back to the flight of the ball. He appealed for the mark. Not taken. Close. Over to Cornelius. Back to Close. There's no one at all ahead of them though. Kick off the ground here for Southport by Tyson Cruz. And in the end he was held. He'll take the free kick.
And probably didn't need to do it, Aaron Cornelius then. I mean, they were working the ball really well, albeit just scrambling it forward. But probably a silly free kick to give away.
Could have used some soccer tactics into this breeze. They had no one ahead of them though in their forward 50. As James is held up there, he elects to go out wide for Southport. The home team looking for that first goal. Travelled almost 18 minutes. And once again, the Lions defence standing firm. And the ball brought out. Smothered on, or not being able to held. Number 60 there for Lions going in is Daniel Day. Ball picked up by Southport, form of Hayden Keel, and he's rested till ground. Now, Calinetti it is, and the umpire will come and bounce the ball down.
Well, you'd reckon, Andrew, that Southport have gone inside their 50 at least 10 times, and most of them the long bomb to the contest. Really easy for the Lions defenders.
They go in board, Southport, and running on nicely, and a snapshot at goal there. Once again off target, out of bounds on the full.
It was interesting with when Wise had the ball in his hands there a couple of minutes ago. He was the only one with enough composure to actually look for Cleve Hughes. Hughes dropped the mark, but at least it was, the 35, 40 metre spot-up kick for your forward, not just bombing it and hoping.
18.5 minutes gone. Southport by 1 point over the Brisbane Lions. 7 behinds to 1 straight kick. 6 points.
And again, that clock's ticking away too, mate. It's
well, it might be a long quarter, you would have thought, despite the stoppages. So Brisbane Lions get the ball. Cornelius with the big leap as he loves to do. Couldn't get the mark down. Over to Southport. McNevin takes the ball away. There's Cruz. Once again on the left boot. Back to McQualter. He'll have a standing shot with this left boot. Once again, probably allowing too much for the breeze. And through for another minor score.
Just didn't hit the slipper quite right, I wouldn't have thought there from Minnie McQualter. But again, it's all a little bit frantic, isn't it? I know there's a lot of players in there because all the players down this end, but no one's really had the composure to set themselves and really attack the goal front with any purpose.
Dinan or Dignan with a kick in there for Brisbane, and that kick not allowed for the breeze. That's gone out of bounds on the full there from Jordan Burke. The free kick will go to Southport. Underneath us here, the broadcast position. The broadcasters forward of centre. And Glenn Screech, who's into the team this week, one of the 3 changes that Norm Dare made, the coach. And Screechy with a kick up towards Weymouth, the big ruckman. And front and square there was Cruz. Keep an eye on him, Weymouth. He might have hurt himself there, Stas. As trying to get the kick away there was Mills. It was ineffective. Cruz has another shot at goal. He blazed away, and they cannot find that big space between the 2 big sticks. No trouble finding the smaller spaces on the other side. And he's got another minor score. In Berghow, there's a hold up on play.
I think we had a really unlucky. The Southport physio was actually attending Big Weymouth with his injury, and was inside the forward 50 and has given away the free kick to the Lions.
Southport 9 behinds in the first term. Brisbane Lions 1 forward 50 entry for 1 goal. They trail by 3 points. Of course, the Lions sitting on top of the ladder at the moment, unbeaten so far in the season. 2013. Players can't get away there. There'll be a bounce down.
And as much as we've said Southport have been wasteful, Brownie, the Lions haven't really coped too well getting it out of their back half either.
So from that bounce, it's close to the boundary line, underneath the scoreboard here, and Carnesis. Of course, they played a couple of games in the seniors this year, and players like himself, Cornelius, will be battling to get back into the seniors once again.
Yeah, there is a bit of a logjam there, and they're the ones that seem to be in and out the most. Another stoppage on the wing out there, mate. The Lions will be wrapped with this.
So a kick away there from Mills, trying to get Southport moving forward. As the ball ends up with Harwood over the top. Teammate in support there, McKeever back to Harwood. And now no one at home at all for Brisbane on the half forward line. Picked up well by Cruz, handed across to the teammate there and his skipper in Wise. Over the back there, a chance for Southport. The Fraser Pope's going to run into it. He runs inside 50. He'll have the shot at goal, and Fraser Pope cannot believe it. They've brought up the double figures, not the way they would have liked. It's another behind. Southport 10 behinds now. Brisbane Lions 1 straight kick, 6. Coming up to the 22-minute mark of the first quarter here. At a sunny Gold Coast, but certainly breezy, and let's keep the temperatures down as well.
Can't make too many excuses for Fraser Pope there, Brownie. That's an absolute gilt-edged chance. Got to make the most of it.
One player know this ground like the back of his hand, and it'll be the number 5. And this time he's staying in the mark on Lachlan Dinan, and good solid mark taken by Pepperone. Certainly has been a shining light. A couple of appearances made for the Brisbane Lions seniors this year.
Different role for him today too, across half-back, Brandon.
Adding a bit of extra height there. And he likes to go high up and under. Longer push into the contest there by Weymouth. Ball spills out to Ben Merritt. Well done, number 24. Game 150 for Southport this afternoon. And the ball forced forward. Cruz. And getting around his opponent on that occasion. A little chip kick up near the broadcast wing. Picked off by McNevin. And Chris bowled the ball away there from Southport from opponent. What can he do here? Crispy showed a lot of pace. Oh, he broke the tackle. Now he runs inside 50. This will be an amazing goal by Jack Crisp. And the ball just falls short top of the square. Umpire will initially call play on. In the end, Cornelius infringed on the Southport skipper, and Wise takes the free kick.
He did well, didn't he, Jack Crisp?
He did.
To take the opposition on. They probably need more of that. When Pepperone and Harwood linked up here just a minute or two ago, it looked very promising as well. That's the way to deal with the breeze, Brownie, in these really tough conditions.
Loose player over the back there was Mallon for Southport. Got the ball forward. Looking there for Mills. And he gets the ball back. Now what's Hughes do? He's on a lead. And he's got the mark this time in the left forward pocket. But he's hard up against the boundary. They'll need to judge the breeze here. He's wasting no time. They did a major before the quarter time siren. Good work at the body. A chance here for Southport. The snapshot misses everything across the face of goal there by John McCanch. And Wade Mills not happy as standing there by himself at the top of the goal square.
He was, although John McCanch, I mean, you'd back yourself there from just a couple of metres. He did all the hard work getting Banfield under the flight of the ball. Just couldn't quite hang on to it. The former Townsville boy, Johnny McCanch, but
and he used his body well then too. Got the sit.
Absolutely, he got his opponent under the ball exactly where he wanted him.
And the umpires are very forgiving there. I think the Lions kicking into the breeze. The ball just travelling the 15. They work it slowly. They'd be happy for the quarter time siren to go. Jesse O'Brien.
Even Jordan Burke to push Cleve Hughes right out to the edge of the 50 for that shot at goal. Really, they're doing it very, very well, the Lions defenders. So it'll be interesting to see how the roles are reversed in the next quarter.
Absolutely. McKeever backs himself, ran up to the 50-metre arc, sends the ball up towards the wing. Players can't bring it down. Ball at ground level. Close to the boundary line, Southport. Send the ball back. McQualter up against number 40, and both players. Then McKeever for the Lions and McQualter happy to see the ball over the line. So,
what's a high number of stoppages, mate, for a quarter? What do you think?
we're about to find out.
Well, I reckon we've had at least 20, I would have thought.
See how long this quarter goes. With only one goal kicked so far. But Southport Sharks leading it by 4 points. The home team trying to knock off the unbeaten Lions in this round 10 clash on NEAFL TV. And players just wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire Stevens comes in once again to throw the ball up at centre half forward.
Obviously, the reason we say that is every slowing down of the play is actually a major win for the team pushing into the breeze.
Good work there by Nick Hayes. Look at the right team sheet, Andrew. They centre foul back there with Southport. Hughes in the front position. This time the ball's beaten him over the back, and the ball cannons into the behind post. And Pepperoni will set himself for a boundary throw in for Brisbane.
10 scoring shots to 1, but nothing to show for it at this point.
What would Normie Dare be saying to just his team? He was worried about the second quarter, of course, trying to defend.
Well, it's going to be
first term.
It's going to be a game in 2 halves, isn't it? I mean, you're going to have a completely different set of tactics pushing into the breeze as going with it. So completely different strategy, I would have thought.
Last chance perhaps for Southport in their forward line. Going in and under there was Headland. Couldn't get the ball out. As McCanch comes up with the ball, but tackled. Good defensive work there by Todd Banfield, number 18 for Brisbane, getting up there. And the umpire once again forced to throw the ball up. Big pack of players around this contest though. Crisp be first to it for Brisbane. Tackled strongly though by Pope. The ball spills out though to Hayes, close to the boundary line. And right on the edge of 50, it'll be a boundary throw in.
Another stoppage, another win for the Lions. Clock ticking away, getting up towards 27 minutes now. So look, as far as the Lions coaching staff, they'd be wrapped with what's transpired so far.
Longer had the front position for Brisbane, trying to work his way through as Bartlett, just happy to handball towards the boundary line. And the boundary umpire will repeat the dose. The Sharks leading it by 4 points over the Brisbane Lions. It's 10 behinds to 1 straight kick 6. We've now gone 27 minutes, so as you said, plenty of stoppages. Overrunning the ball there and getting a thump to the turf. Good defensive work by Brisbane once again. Getting up slowly.
We have got
Edward Mallon.
All 36 players in the one half here too, Brownie, as you'd expect after a chain of stoppages. Looks like Jesse O'Brien's going to get wrapped up here as well. So, we've had 5 or 6 in a row here. Southport have to be the initiators here. Pull some Lions players out, try and create some space, because at the moment we're just going to have stoppage after stoppage right through.
The done the right thing. He's found a free kick. Will go to Southport. And Wade Mills, number 19, ready to set sail. Umpire blew his whistle. Umpire called play on. Mark taken by McCanch. Certainly angle not improved, but he sends the ball to the hot spot. Lead a high fly here at the back. A chance for Weymouth. And James over the back has a snapshot. And off target, the number 43 for the Sharks, and through for a minor score.
And Wade Mills chipping it outside to John McCanch right on the boundary line, and where the 50-metre arc met the boundary line. Really puzzling decision as to why he went out there.
A kick on the half volley there from Carnesis, like he found a teammate, as Harwood did well, ran out of defence. Good thud, big kick. Cornelius got the sit once again. It takes the mark ahead of Darren Wise. So who's going to run forward for Brisbane?
They need to move it quick. Got to move it quickly while they've got Southport players in the wrong positions. Too late.
But there it is on the stroke of half time. Well, with the breeze, the Southport has been unable to kick a major. They kicked 11 behinds. They lead the first quarter by 5 points. Brisbane Lions 1 straight kick, 6 points. It's lottery goal kicker Aaron Cornelius. That first quarter going almost 29 minutes here between the Sharks and the Lions. The Sharks by 5 points at quarter time. And welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve here on the Gold Coast, the home of the Southport Sharks. After an amazing first quarter, they kicked 11 behinds. And the Brisbane Lions against the breeze kicked 1 straight kicked 6 points. The Southport goal kicker, Aaron Cornelius. Second quarter about to get underway. Umpire Ryan Downs with the ball in his hands. Andrew Brown and Craig Susevich, your commentators this afternoon here on the Gold Coast, and Billy Longer with the first tap out to begin the second quarter. We can see what the Lions do. Who will be down that forward line, and it might be timely for a scrum to be formed and a bounce or ball up. Craig Susevich alongside me, and Craig, how are the Lions setting up in this second term? Kicking with the breeze, of course.
Yeah, well, interesting, Brownie. They've thrown Marco Paparone, who was playing across half back there while they were kicking into the breeze. He's now gone to half forward, so obviously he's the guy they're going to swing backwards and forwards depending on where the advantage is. We saw a lot of these in the first quarter, that's for sure, a whole lot of stoppages, and really that's what Southport have got to do this quarter to try and limit the Lions' scoring opportunities going forward with a really strong breeze.
First quarter went just over 29 minutes, and umpire this time has played a free kick, and the first in for the ball, and it's going to go the way of the Brisbane Lions. And Callum Bartlett had a pretty effective first term, but the running Harwood running off half back, and a beautiful kick by Bartlett. Harwood just pulling the mark. Now he's going to go back with a little chip kick. How the umpire call this, and play it a mark to Jesse O'Brien. Cries of Jesse there from his teammates, and he goes out wide. Banfield takes the mark, and the umpire's pinged him for the penalty as well. Just a bit late on that occasion there, Craig.
Yeah, I didn't get a good view of that, I've got to say, Brownie, but they've really paid the price there, Southport, with the 50-metre penalty as well, and Todd Banfield should really slot this one through quite easily.
It's just one of the ones. So the Southport players doing the right thing, going for the spoil, but probably just a fraction late, and the umpire deemed that he had control of the ball. So Todd Banfield from only 5 metres out. We're right behind the kick here, and he makes no mistake. Second goal of the afternoon, picked by the number 18 for Brisbane, Todd Banfield. Joins Aaron Cornelius as the only other goal kicker on the park, and the Lions bring up 2 goals straight. They're 12. Have their noses back in front by 1 point. Southport 11 behinds. Early stages of the second quarter.
Mate, when you think of all the toil in the first quarter that Southport went through, where they were having all their shots from around the 50-metre arc, for the Lions in the first couple of minutes to have a shot from the goal square is just really deflating for them. So 50-metre penalty, wasn't it there? That'll be debatable, I guess, but in the end the shot at goal from close in is really what Southport can't afford.
So Billy Longer set to do battle against his opponent this afternoon. Number 8 for Southport, Dan Weymouth, doing the bulk of their ruck work. And Longer once again gets the tap. Well done by Fraser Pope, picking up the crumbs, goes out wide, looking for the teammate there in Burge. And he picks the ball up eventually. Look for the handball in board to the veteran there in James. Didn't find him. Ball spills out though to McNevin. A chain of handballs. Now Southport with the problem. What will they do? Try and get the ball moving forward. Pumper kicked forward, and dropping the mark at the vital stage was Alderson. And dealt with after he got rid of it. And a free kick there going back to Southport.
And Nick Hayes very, very lucky not to give away a 50-metre penalty there, Brownie, with the ball in his hand.
3 opponents there for Hughes. Gets the ball down. Now a chance running into it. And from point blank range, and can believe it, they struggled with the breeze. They get a goal against the breeze through McCanch, and finally got their first major of the afternoon, the Southport Sharks. 1 goal, 11-17. Back in front by 5 points. So the Brisbane Lions 2 straight 12. And McCanch making up for a mistake in the latter stages of that first quarter, gets the first goal for the afternoon for Southport.
Yeah, well, that's the method, isn't it, going forward, to try and run it up into the breeze, and Andrew McWalter was involved in that chain of possession as well, just getting it across to Johnny McCanch, who was able to have plenty of time. He's got really good leg speed, John McCanch, but he settled himself and slotted the ball through, and finished off nicely. So a very, very valuable goal up into this very strong breeze.
Which just appears to be dying down a bit, so we'll see what happens. Longer, Weymouth now gets the tap. Carnesius in the centre for Brisbane, starting there, number 28. Picked up by Fraser Pope. He's tackled strongly. Umpire called play on, so Pope had to get rid of it. It does. Good work, though, by Southport at ground level. The ball comes out to the last goal kicker, McCanch. Showing courage there, backing into the pack there was Mallon. The free kick, though, found Hughes. Mallon moved forward. He's got the mark now. Could be 2 goals in a minute here to Southport. And from point blank range, you can't believe it. But there's a loose play in the goal square as well. That was ignored. And Mallon has kicked from only 10 metres out and unfortunately missed everything.
There's a lot of things we like about Eddie Mallon's footy, Brownie, but his kicking's probably not quite there yet as one of those things. But very, very promising from Southport's point of view to have a couple of forward entries so early in this quarter.
Might have been Hayden Keel there by himself and the Goss waiting for the handball, but that was ignored. And good work by the youngster Michael Close taking the mark out there on the outer half-back flank. And disappointed with that kick though, no one home for the Brisbane. The ball went over the head of the big ruckman and Longer, and the mark taken by Calanetti. So Eddie sends the ball back to the half-forward flank. Oh, good mark taken there. Set by Nick Hayes out there on the half-back flank.
He's a really handy player, I think, Brownie. He's uses the ball quite well when he gets it, and really good overhead there in that contest.
And so the Brisbane Lions bring the ball up. Jesse O'Brien just on the edge of the square there. They trail it by 5 points, Brisbane. And he goes forward. The mark dropped on that occasion by Lachlan Nyland Rowe. Southport recover. And just a high up and under there by McCann. Will go out of bounds on the full. What were the instructions from the Lions coach Lee Harding coming to the second quarter, kicking with the breeze?
Well, I thought, it obviously lower the eyes and chip it around as they're doing right now and try and find good options before you go on the attack inside your forward 50s.
So Karnezis does that, trying to find his ruckman teammate Longer, but a free kick given away in that contest. And the free kick going to Southport. On the outer side, kicking the teeth of the breeze there was David James. Found a teammate further upfield. And Fraser Pope it is. And in front, that's the place to be, kicking into the breeze there. And Mallon, using his strength at the front position, takes the mark. Looking for McCanch. Ball from behind though by Banfield. Couldn't quite chap the ball. A chance to scan for McCanch. Over the top there goes Daniel for Southport. Didn't find the target though. Running out defence was Newell. By hand to Banfield. Oh, loose to the centre. Brisbane Lions got the numbers here. Bartlett is going to run through. Missed the handball on that occasion. Neil Bartlett's going to back himself. Runs inboard. Sets sail for home. Callum Bartlett. And a beautiful goal by the number 13. Brings up his first goal of the afternoon. And the Lions third, and with this breeze around, they've kicked 3 goals straight. They're 18, back in front by a point over Southport, 111-17. Travelled about 8 minutes in the second quarter.
Well, that's probably the difference, isn't it? That chain of possession that they were able to, and Bartlett took it on himself to get through 3 opponents there before he got inside the forward 50. But just sharing the ball and being a little bit more efficient and cleaner with their possession through the middle of the ground before they actually launch an attack on goal is probably the difference compared to what we saw in the first quarter with Southport. But a really nice finish there by Callum Bartlett.
Lions back in front by a point. A couple of lead changes. Keep track of the lead changes too, Stars, won't you?
I will.
It goes on with the stoppages. From the centre bounce, Longer trying to get the ball down. A good defensive work there by Pope, wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Umpire James Waldorf there, number 15. So a secondary bounce. So more players invade the centre square. Front or down the side there, doing the crumbing down the occasion was Chris, but a good defensive mark taken by Calanetti. Which way will he go? Likes to go the corridor. Loose player up there was Burge. And needs to keep the ball moving though. He swings around, gets around Pepperoni on that occasion, gets back onto the right boot, short kick to travel the distance, he finds Weymouth. And Burge takes the handball back. Working the ball up well, little chip kick finds Keel. The number 3 on a lead out there, misses the target. Lions player had 3 Southport players around him. Ball spills out the side. Brisbane get the ball, work the ball out of the defensive zone. And a good mark taken by number 55 and Nick Bertoli-Simmons. Of course has Hayden playing as well in this match this afternoon, but Nick takes the ball away. Found the target in the centre and Longer. Now got a loose player, Banfield. And Banfield spots a player further downfield. Pepperoni running back to the flight of the ball. And number 22 spent all first quarter in the same end of the ground. Of course, he was defending. Now has a chance to sop through his first of the afternoon and the Lions 4th.
Well, Todd Banfield, I mean, terrific player because while it was a long inside 50 entry, there was some purpose to it. He found Marco Paparone over the back and spotted him up beautifully.
And he makes no mistake. So accurate kicking from the Brisbane Lions brings up their fourth goal on the board. And the draft pick, last year's draft, has his first of the afternoon. And they move on to 4 goals straight, 24. To Southport 111-17, coming up to the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
And that chain of possession started with on the back flank with the young fellow out there, whose name escapes me at the moment. It's Bertoli Simmons, who was on the far side, took a nice mark, chipped it.
Number 55.
Yeah, chipped it inside to the ruckman. Whoops, we got a free kick off the ball.
And Lee Harding, the Lions coach, will be happy with that. You're defending. Well, mate, life's hard enough for Southport, kicking into the breeze, and they give away a free kick at centre half forward to the full forward for the day, Cleve Hughes. And we're still waiting for a football return after Marco Paparone kicked the ball perhaps out of the ground with that breeze.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, Brownie, but Jordan Burke's trying to make a case for himself with the umpire there, but I suspect it was just one of those things that goes on between defenders and forwards behind the play, and I dare say it's probably something to do with high contact amongst all of that.
Jordan Burke, the son of the former Geelong skipper and Brisbane ruckman Damien Burke. You know him well, as you know, Stars. Some coaching there during some premiership years. As Hughes, got plenty of purchase on that delivery into the wind, but unfortunately for him, off target. I think it's second behind for the afternoon to the number 7. And the Southport Sharks bring up their 18th point. They are 1 goal 12-18, trial by one straight kick over Brisbane. And the Lions, big roost though out to the outer wing, looking there for Michael Close. Couldn't quite get the ball. Plenty of black and white jumpers, or white and black jumpers around the ball. And Screech sends the ball back into attack, and he finds Fraser Pope. Just inside attacking 50, left half forward, outer side of the ground. And his kick goes in short. Oh, on a good lead. And taking the mark is Ed Mallon. Solidly built customer, plays on, goes around, kick towards the goals, and just on the near side. Just missed the target once again, a minor score, 113-19. They close the margin by 1.
That breeze has definitely dropped off a bit,
Yes,
Brownie.
I think it has, yep.
The ease at which Southport have been able to have half a dozen forward entries is probably proof of that, whereas early in the game it was horrendous trying to push up into the wind.
Still plenty of work to be done though. Paparone nudged out under the ball. Allow the Southport skipper Wise to take the mark. Where does he go here? He's looking for a big target up forward. Weymouth is down there. Players need to set themselves, but good fist by Jordan Burke. Tackle strongly there. On that occasion was Hayden Keel sent to the ground by Patrick Carnitas, and both players come up the ball. The ball will be thrown up, half forward flank for Southport. Weymouth nudged out of the contest by Longer. Keel, good roving work there. We get the ball back from Equality, didn't handle it cleanly though. Determined character though, Keel got the ball out to Weymouth, look away handball, and he found McKeever, who sends the Lions out of trouble. The race is on the outer side of the ground.
It's Michael Close out there, isn't it, who's
was
got
opponent
possession?
Tyson Cruz, and the ball didn't bounce kindly there for Cruz. We'll get the ball back though. And now Birds has the ball for Southport. Finds Mills all by himself in the centre. On the overlap from the back line. Here comes Kurt Nicholas. And the mark taken out wide here by Stephen Thine. Left footer. Can he find the target here? Good defensive punch from behind there by Nick Hayes, the rookie for the Brisbane Lions. Sends the ball out of bounds over the line. And Lions playing 14 listed players. Plenty of top-up players, of course, this contest. A couple of unwarranted suspensions in their senior lineup with Merritt and Clark.
Well, it's made the contest a bit closer than maybe a week or two ago, hasn't it?
So they send the ball up forward, but Harwood, the skipper for the day for Brisbane, tried to run through, lucky not to be pinged on that occasion, tried to find a teammate there in Henderson. Ball received back though here by Hayden Bertoli Simmons. Got the ball out wide, Eddie. Oh, good tackle from behind. Kept the pressure on though for Brisbane. Pope's under pressure. He eludes the tackle though. Sends a left foot kick. Looking up there for Screech. He's going to get the ball back. He should have a shot at goal here. He snaps. The ball won't quite make the distance. Hughes can use his strength. Ball still in play. Oh, guts around his opponent. Sold the dummy. Tried an adventurous left foot check side punt, and the ball reaches the goal square and eventually punched through by the Brisbane defence. So a minor score, and now up to 20 points. 4 points of difference. 15-minute mark, second quarter. Kick in, and I think Lee Harding disappointed that. Got the breeze and is bombing away, not finding the target.
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. They're good work by the big ruckman there to get Jordan Burke out of the way, although he's penalised him. Can you believe it?
He's used his body. Thought it was in 5 metres. Umpire saw it differently, so unfortunately Weymouth, opportunity to put Southport in front, and a free kick went against him.
I guess it's how subtle you do it, Brownie, isn't it? Weymouth definitely had
well, there were no hands.
Some good body contact. Yeah, that's just the way they interpret it these days, unfortunately.
So Brisbane bring the ball along the members' wing, if you like, here at Southport. Fankhauser reserve, and Bartlett just pin a tackle. Well done by Pope and Keel. They gang tackled him. Now Wade Mills is running forward. If Hughes spots him, Hughes, he does in the forward pocket. It's coming in behind, will take the mark. Here's Glenn Screech, and the Sharks veteran. Pretty tough angle though. We'll have to kick the ball to the near side post to try and thread this one through. He's
very good then, Hayden Keel, wasn't he, in spotting a target up inside, just a little chip inside, and actually then ran into the forward 50 himself. But really good build up there by Southport.
Callum Bartlett offered no resistance and he knew it was gone. So Screech low. Oh, he's done it well. Shake of the fist. Applauds himself, and so he should. That was a tremendous kick from the tight angle. And Southport finally bring up their second goal of the afternoon at the about the 18 minute mark of the second term here at Southport. 2-14-26. They've got their noses back in front by 2 points over Brisbane. Very accurate. 4 goals straight, 24. And Glenn Screech with his first goal of the afternoon.
And despite the breeze dropping off, Brownie, they have scored 2 goals, 3 into it. What are we at halfway through the second quarter, and the Lions have had the 3 scoring shots, all majors at the other end, but 2-3 to 3 shots. I mean, that's still really good work. While in the first quarter it was 11 shots to 1, wasn't it? So from that point of view, Southport doing really well, pushing up into this breeze.
Sun's gone hiding away behind a few clouds, a little bit overcast conditions, and the wind springs up again, but Lions with the all-important centre clearance. Bartlett to Banfield, the two Bs combining, but Calinetti, he's doing well there, the last line defence for Southport.
Yeah, read it really well, didn't he?
Brings the ball out wide, and his pass is on target. He finds Thine, with Banfield standing the mark. So happy to slow it down. He's going to take on Banfield. His kick doesn't find the target. Body on body there between Bartlett. Takes a well-earned rest, looking for the interchange bench, along with Edward Mallon. And now he's got to stay in a bit longer. Does Callum? As Michael Close ready to take his place in the interchange bench. Richard Newell also ready to come on for Brisbane. Oh, good work again by Jack Crisp. Did some similar things in the first quarter, but unable to find the target on that occasion. And Tyson Cruz takes the mark on the half-back line. Over to McCanch, one of the goal kickers for Southport in the second term. High up and under, Billy Longer sets himself. The youngster did well, to the applause of his teammates, and takes a strong mark. Goes out wide to Hayes. Harwood needs to kick it now. Use the breeze. Well, player left up, mark on the half-forward line. Crisp over to Newell. And Newell's kick towards Cornelius. Might be happy with that. We kept it in. No, he didn't. Boundary umpire, a bit late with the decision. Well, field umpire, in fact, might have been the best position. Now he hands the ball over to the boundary umpire for a throw in.
I bet he wished he had that one again, Richard Newell.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't the right option, was it?
Plus he was inside 50 as well. And just a swarm of players around that ball. Umpire forced to come in and throw the ball up once again.
Sorry, mate. He is a great left foot kick too, Richard Newell. So surprising he didn't go himself to finish it off.
Well, Close did well. Well, he might get the ball back here. He put his body on the line there, Craig Starcevic. And Richard Newell will take the free kick now. Heard that set shot for goal.
Oh, well, let's see what he's like. He's a really good left foot kick and probably owed the team one. So he's dived in and earned himself a free kick and a set shot from, about 30 out on a 45-degree angle.
A chance to put the Lions' 5th goal of the afternoon on the board. So Newell right behind the kick here. Should favour the right-hand side goalpost, of course. And the boy from New South Wales didn't hear us loudly enough, and it just went through the near side. So it's the first behind of the afternoon. Got some catching up though to try and catch Southport. The Sharks leading the way by 1 point, 2-14-26, and Brisbane 4-1-25. So we've got the close one at this stage. It's NEAFL match round 10. Southport trying to work the ball across the wing here on the broadcast side. The ball eventually trickles out of bounds as Ben Merritt about to come on. Of course, in game 150, hasn't been too prominent so far. He's in fact just taking a rest. And Cleve Hughes coming back on. Weymouth the front position. Got the ball down to the teammate there, and Ed Mallon. Plenty of lines across the half-back line though. McKeever's going to stream through. Long left foot kick. Cornelius at the back's got the set. Good spoil though. No, the umpire said chopping in the hands by Kurt Nicholas. So Cornelius will take the resultant free kick.
Really lucky too, I think, Brownie, but I think if we get a chance to go back and have a look at the tape, I think Kurt Nicholas might have got him side on or slightly front on in that spoiling contest, which always attracts the umpire's attention. And Aaron Cornelius has been the lucky recipient of the free kick. Just when I was about to say Niall McKeever's long bomb wasn't the best option, the Lions have been able to scrounge a free kick out of it.
So the ex-Tassie boy, Cornelius, he should kick those, and he does. Makes no mistake, splits the middle perfectly, and becomes the first multiple goal kicker afternoon. He kicked the only goal in the first term against the Breeze. Kicks one with the Breeze in the second quarter. And now the Lions back in front by 5 points. 5-1-31. Southport 2-14-26. Take a while for that ball to come back, I think, Craig.
Yeah, it's a little swing in momentum too, Brownie. Really, probably the first 15 minutes of the quarter, Southport can hold their heads up and say that they've probably had the bulk of the possession and probably most of the inside 50s for that matter. But just in the last 5 minutes, the Lions have had a couple of shots at goal, been able to get the scoreboard pressure back up again, and a nice finish there by Aaron Cornelius. He doesn't need too many opportunities in that range to make the most of.
As we go into time on, checking those goal kickers for you. Cornelius with 2, singles to Bartlett, Banfield and Paparone. And for the Sharks, 1 to Screech, and the other goal kicker, John McCanch. Plenty of behinds though amongst these Sharks players. Lions get the all-important centre clearance. Just coming off the interchange though. It's a 150 gamer and Benny Merritt sends the ball up along the line, and good mark under pressure. Taken there by Brock Askey. Just short of half forward. Looking for his forwards to get into position. Big mark needs to be taken. Looks to go in short. Oh, timely kick, and Glenn Screech timed his run beautifully to take the mark.
He's had a good go. Just come into the team late, I think, today, but he's been quite lively up forward.
One of 3 changes that Coach Norm Dare made from last week. Of course, the only other loss this season to the Gold Coast Suns. And got the big Brisbane Lions taking them to know. Beautiful work at ground level there by Hayden Kill. Had a shot at goal. Still a chance for the Sharks, and Med Mellon comes through off the ground. And the umpires are going to confer here. The Lions are pleading for a touch result off the boot, and that's the way the umpire is going to see it. So Ed Mellon, disappointed, doesn't get the full result there. And Dean, touch off the boot.
Well, they were convinced, weren't they, the Sharks? They were happy with that one off the ground. Eddie Mellon will be probably the only one that will really know whether they got through without being touched. But again, a promising build-up.
So Ryan Hard with the kick-in duties finds Paparone. Kicked a goal earlier this second term. Another ex-senior player, Jack Crisp, taking the mark. Over to the youngster in Hayes. Spots up a teammate further afield on that outer wing. Inboard is Bartlett. That lead momentarily ignored. Elects to go down the line, and Cornelius, a long way from home, takes the mark on that centre wing. Aaron Cornelius, 2 goals so far in this match. Kicked 8 last week. He elects to go backwards, and he finds Bartlett. So good defensive work from Southport. They don't want the Lions to get away from them in their second term, as there's been other Sharks got the use of the breeze after half time. Well, first use anyway in that third quarter. That's Crisp now, long left foot kick. Players set themselves. At the back was Cornelius. Front and square, Banfield. Can he get the step away? Good tackle from behind though. Mallon about to be corralled by Newell. Somehow he escaped. Kicks the ball, just bombed the ball outside defensive zone. And Dynan kicks the ball after, was dealt with after kick the ball. Looking for Carnesis in the left half forward flank. and the ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a throw in.
That last forward entry by Jack Crisp, I've liked his game this afternoon too, Brownie, but really that long one to the pack is, even though you've got your Todd Banfields at ground level, probably not the greatest option.
Lions leading it by 4 points, approaching half-time here on the Gold Coast this afternoon. And good mark taken by Screech. Got the ball over to McQualter. They need the run here. A chance here for the Southport to be in front at half-time if they work this ball well. Off the back line came Tyson Cruz. Went back inboards, but they overused the ball. McKeever, though, was tackled. Picked up by the Lions, by Henderson. Well, they pump the ball here at centre half forward. A chance for Screech to come in once again. Over to James. Oh, no, it's Burge, I should say. Has the shot at goal. And the number 29 puts it through. Handy goal before the main break to Jason Burge. He gets his first goal of the afternoon. And remarkably, they've kicked 3 goals into the wind in the second quarter.
They've been fantastic, Brownie. Particularly Screech and Burge, who've been pushing up into the wind, which is the way to do it. Screech has been terrific across half forward and occasionally up into the middle of the ground, but to run the ball up into the breeze, that's really the way to score. It's going to be a hard day for your key forwards because it's not going to come to your lace out, but to run the ball up the way they did then was really, really promising and really the way it should be done for the rest of the afternoon. Although having said that, the breeze is really nowhere near as strong as it was early.
Reminiscent of the Lions seniors game against Essendon last week, a number of lead changes. And now Southport find themselves back in front by 2 points and can extend the lead. Got a free kick from that centre bounce. It'll go to Hayden Keel. And he goes out wide. Finds Cruz once again. Ed Mallon now takes the mark on the half-forward flank. Hughes sets himself there. Might be testing the range of Mallon. So he lets it go in short. Little nudge out. Oh, good defensive work there by Brisbane. And one of the youngsters out there takes the mark. The left might be close out there, in fact. And the ball still out there on the half-back line for Brisbane. And the mark taken by number 57 in Dylan Bresnahan. Needs support from the forward line. Ball didn't reach the target there to Paparone. Close to the boundary line. Wise, the Sharks skipper, wisely puts the ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Sharks might be content to go with a 2-point lead at the main break. It's 33-31, approaching half-time on NEAFL Live TV. And a windswept Fankhauser reserve here on the Gold Coast. And good work by Keel. Threaded his way through, looking there for Fraser Pope. Couldn't take the mark, had time to recover though. Elects to go back to Burge. Kicked the last goal for Southport. Up to Screech, over to McQualter, back to Burge, who kept on running. Now left foot kick, looking here for Cleve. Hughes dives on it, he paid the mark. So Southport with a chance to extend this lead. Right on the half-time siren, good diving effort from the full forward.
Jason Burge continues to have a really big quarter, Brownie, and really good, another forward 50 entry there. And found Cleve Hughes. Going to be a very, very tough shot for Grohl, I've got to say. He's going to kick right into the teeth of this fairly strong breeze.
Taking over the duties of Josh Baxter, who's missed another week, the normal Southport spearhead. But Cleve Hughes spent time with Richmond as well in the AFL. Has a set shot at goal. It's not a bad attempt. No, just veers to the right-hand side. So not having much luck, the number 7 so far this afternoon. I think it's about his third behind. And then out to a 3-point lead, Southport, 34-31. Remarkable scoreline. We'll give it to you when the siren goes for the players to have the main break. Short kick in.
They have had 8 shots at goal, Brownie, to the Lions 5 this quarter, pushing
remarkable.
up into the breeze. So with an ounce of luck and kicking from some better spots, they might have been even further in front.
Yeah, 3 goals 5 in this quarter to 4 goals 1. So the Lions only ahead by 2 points in the second quarter of scoring. And a closer heads there, or play going down, was Ben Merritt. Long was wondering what the free kick is for, and Ben Merritt looks a bit groggy getting up, number 24. So waiting for some movement from the forward line. But they've done well. Certainly another forward 50 entry for them. They'll be leading, no doubt, the Lions in the total, 450 entries for the half. So almost taking his head off, the umpire said perhaps he ducked his head at the wrong stage. Cornelius goes in for the tackle, and getting up slowly there is Benny Headland. So ball to be thrown up, half forward line, just outside attacking 50 for Southport. Weymouth got the tap down, picked up by Longer though, looking for Carnesis. Picked up by Cornelius, tackled by amongst others Kurt Nicholas. And once again the umpire forced to throw the ball up.
What it does now show us, Brownie, though, it's no longer a game in halves. It's possible to score at both ends. After the first quarter, it was just absolutely blowing a gale to one end. And now this proves that it is possible to get the ball up the other end.
And there it is. The players can take a well-earned half-time break. That quarter going close to 30 minutes. The first term went to 29 minutes. So goal kickers, just checking those for you for the Brisbane Lions, who trail by 3 points at the main break. Aaron Cornelius has 2. And singles there to Callum Bartlett, Todd Banfield, Marco Pepperone. And for Southport, singles to Glenn Screech, Jason Burge and John McCanch. As to the first half, Craig Sasevich.
Well, really, when you look at that first quarter, we've spoken about it, the Sharks kicking the 11th straight behinds to the Lions' single goal. A totally different game from our perspective in terms of the second quarter there. We expected the Lions to really keep capitalising on the breeze, but in terms of scoring shots and forward 50 entries and all the things that we use as measures of general field play, you would have thought Southport at least broke even there, probably won the quarter. So from that point of view, they can be very, very confident going into the second half. Now we've got a game where the wind's dropped off, possible to score at either end of the ground. In terms of possession around the middle of the ground, I think Southport could probably say their midfield's starting to get on top, with Burge and Mallon and Keel and these sort of guys starting to get plenty of the ball. So really looking forward to the second half. We've got a 3-point game. Southport have had 19 shots to the Lions 6, but of course all of that messy stuff was in the first quarter when they couldn't find the goals.
And Southport looking to extend that lead big time in the second half. At half-time here at Southport on the Gold Coast, it's the home team by 3 points, 3-16-34. Brisbane Lions reserves 5-1-31. And welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve here on Southport on the Gold Coast for this top-of-the-table clash between the unbeaten Brisbane Lions up against the home team here, the Southport Sharks. Of course, Southport only losing one game so far in season 2013. That was the Gold Coast Suns, so the Sharks be tremendous effort if they can knock off the Brisbane Lions this afternoon. The home team has a 3-point lead as the third quarter about to get underway here, live on NEAFL TV. Andrew Brown and Craig Sasevich with you here from the Gold Coast this afternoon. Billy Longer, beautifully rove though by Callum Bartlett in the centre there, and he goes out while looking for close and finds him. Great start there by the Brisbane Lions, and might have got a bit of a rev up from Lee Harding at half time. They didn't use the breeze that well, even though they slightly outscored the Southport Sharks, who went into the half time break, as I said, with that 3-point lead. And one of the key defenders for the Southport, Calinetti, at his best work again in number 2. And at Southport, they do it well. Work it out of their defensive zone, the mark taken by Tyson Cruz. There was a 50-metre penalty paid, and we'll use it. So big advantage now to Southport. Welcome in for the second half, Craig Sasevich.
It was a good start by the Lions there, wasn't it, Brownie? But it all fell down when they went inside the forward 50, and now Southport get a chance to rebound.
So Tyson Cruz, number 35, looking for options up forward. Major forward up there today, Cleve Hughes. Only the one major. In fact, no, it's 3 behinds. In fact, he's kicked. Plenty of behinds, as we know, in that score of Southport. 34 points overall, 3 goals, 16. Kicked 11 behinds in the first quarter, the same end the kicking term this half. So let's see what they would have learnt from that first term. Hughes sets himself between 2 players there, McKeever and Burke. McKeever happy to see the ball over the line for a throw in. It's only 10 metres around from the Southport goal, and certainly pretty much a windswept Fankhauser Reserve so far this afternoon.
Still worth a couple, isn't it? It's worth a couple of goals to the northern end, definitely.
Good work by Mills, although he tried to perhaps go too far, bust the pack open too much, and he was tackled in the end. And free kick taken by Callum Bartlett. And certainly a number of these Lions players, of course, the team so far undefeated in this season in the NEAFL competition, be pressing for senior selection too, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, there's been a couple of gaps open up last week with a couple of suspensions in the senior team, but really today, really like Bartlett's game today. Harwood's been good, and Longer's been good in the ruck also. So it's been a few guys putting their hands up as usual.
Long left foot kick from McKeever. Went to a pack of players. No one can bring it down. The ball trickles out of bounds. And great place to watch football here too at Southport. You see the parking bays right around the ground here. So if it's a bit chilly outside, they can watch it comfortably from their cars. And we're perched high up on the deck here on the members' wing, if you like, here at Southport. As the Sharks trying to extend that half-time lead at 3 points. Carnesius goes in. Little chip kick, just stayed in. And kept in there by Southport as well. Keel went up from behind. Now another chance. We'll spill out here to Southport. Got the numbers if they can get the ball clear. And dive on top of it though. Rigorous defence though from Brisbane. Sees the ball locked up. There'll be another ball up. Only about 30 metres out directly from the Southport goal. Kicking towards the northern end in this third quarter. Longer with the tap down for Brisbane. The young ruckman. And players dive on top of it once again. And a particular change, as you can see, from where's Paparone? Is he still playing the back half? Still at the same end of the ground as he for this quarter? Stars?
It looks that way, mate, the way they've set up.
Played at the whole game so far at the one end of the ground. There to defend with the wind, one quarter, then try and kick goals with the wind. And he did kick a goal in that second term, number 22, Marco Paparone. But ball's now with Wise for Southport. And the Sharks get a big mark here. Good spoil once again by the youngster in Burke for Brisbane. Players dive on top of it. Ball spills out to Screech. And kick the Sharks' first goal in that second term against the Breeze. He's wrapped up in the tackle there in the forward pocket. Once again, they're already dominating possession with the Breeze. From the tap down. Any white jumpers in there can claim their hands on the ball. They do. Umpire has to repeat the dose. Jack Crisp wrapping up his opposite number 47, Ed Mallon, and a tackle there. Mallon has been good though.
They are dominating possession, Brownie, but the Lions are also into this little trend that we had in the first quarter of a hell of a lot of stoppages, particularly in the forward 50. I reckon the first quarter was up around 20 for the quarter, stoppages in general, and that's a very, very high number and a great way to suffocate the opposition and prevent them from scoring.
Speaking of which, I think Callan said he was suffocated then by the Callan Bartlett tackle. The umpire didn't play a free kick. And Bartlett got the ball out. Oh, that ball went to 15, but the umpire paid it. Mark's taken by James. No, it's got to go back. The other side, maybe something happened behind the play involving that player Bartlett. So the Lions get a free kick. Send the ball up towards the outer wing. Ball goes past James. Back to Bresnahan. There's Bartlett again. Standing start from the half-back flank. High up and under. Waiting patiently down there at ground level was Nick Bertoli-Simmons. Almost did the right thing there. And the Lions are going to try and move the ball forward here through close. He's chopped up into that outer wing. And happy to see the ball go over the line. They do. Right underneath the scoreboard here at Southport, which shows no addition to the half-time score from either side. It's 34 to the Sharks. Lead it by 3 points over the Lions, who are 31. NEAFL round 10. Top of the table clash. First playing second. Haven't met since last year's quarter-final. Brisbane were victorious. And the ball has gone out of bounds from the full. But Southport forward entry, and McKeever takes a free kick. Little chip kick. Barely travels the 15. Mark taken by Jack Crisp. As the Lions trying to work the ball from one end of the ground to the other.
One thing on a windy day, Brownie, is that players are really reluctant to switch the ball just for fear that it will get picked off somewhere on the way across. So we find that we have the kick and catch down the line, if you like, the old-fashioned way of getting the ball forward. But certainly not a lot of guys with enough courage in there or enough confidence in their kicking skills to take on the Breeze and switch.
So the ball now in dispute there on the outer wing. Well done by Keel. Now a chance here for Headland if he runs onto it. Got the handball away. Over there to Burge. Burge now has a shot towards going back to the fly ball. Thine. He might have been interfered with there. So he was. So the number 11 for Southport will take a free kick, and this should bring their first goal of the match at this end after they kicked 11 behinds in the first quarter.
Yeah, Thine had his opponent completely covered then, didn't he? He was in a terrific position attacking wise.
Well done, no favours by the umpires. Put around on the angle, but he's put it through. And you can tell by the reaction of the Southport supporters at that end, they're pretty happy about it. Glad to see a major kick at that end. And it becomes their fourth for the afternoon. The first goal of the second half going to Southport. They extend their lead now out to 9 points. They're 4 goals, 16. 40 points to Southport, to Brisbane Lions, to say 5-1-31.
Well, that takes them out to a handy 9-point buffer now, Brownie, and the question will be as the quarter unfolds, how much is going to be enough? Because the Lions will definitely have this the aid of this breeze in the fourth quarter, and really they really need to put a lot of psychological pressure on the Lions now in terms of scoreboard pressure to make the most of the opportunities.
If the camera's on the scoreboard, ignore that score there at the moment. It's only been the one straight kick. Change the behinds. They've added 6 points to the behind, so they've kicked enough already. The Southport supporters would be saying there, Craig.
They've been wasteful, but 4:22,
no,
not quite.
It should be 4 goals, 16.
Yeah.
Hopefully the scoreboard will change soon. Jack Crispo sends the Lions into attack, and the Lions mount a quick reply here. They have a chance there through Cornelius now. Gets the ball on the right boot, and he'll probably try it out for the breeze, but perhaps not that much. And has missed the big six, and the ball's gone out of bounds on the full. Free kick there to Cruz for Southport.
Had a little bit more time to turn his body and face the goals, but he'd be disappointed with that one, Cornelius.
Now, one of the quick transference of play, and they're going to find it here through Ed Mallon. They're going to keep the ball playing on there. Evades the tackle, or almost tripped in the end. So we'll take a second chance, if you like, the big number 47. Lead is offered from Keel further downfield, and takes a strong mark. The veteran number 3. Now he's got Cleve Hughes on the lead. It's a bit of a grubber kick though, forces the heavy work. Scooped it up beautifully though to a teammate. Sends it back towards the centre corridor. Now a chance for Eddie. Over the back here, McNevin. And he didn't know that he had a player coming from behind him there in Patoli Simmons of the Nick variety. And in fact, very lucky to be paid a free kick in the end, Fraser Pope.
Yeah, that's
as
really...
McNevin was tackled with the ball. Well tackled too by young number 55, but in the end, a free kick's been given to Fraser Pope for the Sharks.
Yeah, really confusing, that chain of possible free kicks, because McNevin was run down from behind, and probably should have given away the free. And then you had the Lions player and Fraser Pope attacking the ball at ground level, and Pope got the free kick.
And he celebrates straight away. Right on from just inside 50, Fraser Pope's got 2 goals, now a second goal in a row there for the Southport Sharks in this term. And it brings up his first for the afternoon. And out to the biggest lead of the game. 5 goals, 16, 46. And the Brisbane Lions trail by 15 points. They're 5-1-31. They've been scoreless since half-time. We've gone 8.5 minutes of the third quarter.
Just trying to work out who was that, the Lions player at ground level, one of the younger players, I think, number 58. Might have been Hayden Batoli Simmons. And Fraser Pope attacked the ball. Batoli Simmons actually came up with the ball in his hands and was penalised for giving away the free kick too high on Fraser Pope. So he can count himself extremely unlucky in that one, Brownie, I would have thought.
Ball back in the centre with umpire number 15 there, James Waldorf. Good bounce too. Trying to recover it there was Keel. Someone stole it off his Lions opponent. And now forced in for a secondary ball up, as the scoreboard has corrected there. So 46 to Southport. The Lions on 15 points in arrears on 31. Biggest lead of the game there to the Southport Sharks. They need to really extend this lead before the Lions had full use of the breeze heading into the final quarter. The ball beats Keel out there, and his opponent might be Dynan, and deliberate out of bounds going against the young Brisbane Lions player. So Southport take the free kick, ready to launch another attack. They've got big Weymouth down there in the forward line up against McKeever. Ball reached that far. Players set themselves. Mills in the front. Good roving off the pack though by Southport. Pepperone, last line defence is under pressure. I don't know if it was complete handball. Went to Harwood. He's tackled strongly by Mallon though. Sent to the ground. The umpire wants the players to get rid of it, and nothing forthcoming, so it'll be a ball up. Only 30 metres out directly in front of goal, and the Lions certainly under pressure in their second half. Get to that in a moment, see if the Southport Sharks can convert a goal here. They've got the numbers. Over the back, a chance here for Mallon. Had Danny Wise screaming for it, centre half forward. That was ignored. Back out to Pope, kicked their last goal. Now Mills has been spotted. Sets himself up against Crisp. Well done by Jack Crisp. Brought the ball down to ground level. McCann has a chance. Back to Mills. He'll snapshot at goal. And wrong side of the goal post. Brings up a minus score for Southport. As that wind that really springs up here at Fankhauser Reserve. The weather closing in. 47 plays 31. As the Lions quickly bring the ball out of defence. Trying to do so there was Lachlan Nyland Rose, held up against the boundary line. The ball goes out of bounds. And the Lions really in trouble the second half with interchanges, Craig.
Yeah, they are at the moment, Andrew, and we've just got the news too that Todd Banfield and Jesse O'Brien are out for the afternoon, so in preparation for possibly slotting into the senior group. So from that point of view, it's going to make it very difficult for the Lions reserves team at the moment in this game. So great hope now for the Southport Sharks.
So more on that later, and obviously speculation, wondering who perhaps would be a possible late with Jaws for the senior team. But anyway, back to this game. That's more important as far as viewers on NEAFL Live TV are concerned, with the home team leading by 16 points, 47-31. And the Lions walk the ball on the boundary line here, picked up by Dynan. Over the top here is Michael Close. Close now goes for a bit of a run, sends the ball inboard, looking for his teammate there in Fletcher Barclay. But chipping in well was Liam McNevin for Southport. And now space in front of him, that's what he likes too out there, David James. Now kicks the ball long, looking for Weymouth. Harwood was in his way though.
He's
actually
actually
punched the ball.
Yep.
And yes, obviously paid the mark by the umpire, no doubt about it.
No doubt about that one. Got the fist on it and followed it up. He's been a good player today, Ryan Harwood.
Looking up there for Close, covering both sides of the ground. Ball falls to him now. Got out of the tackle well. Over the top to Cornelius. Well, Cornelius, I should say. Cornelius and Cornelius mixed up. As you're doing this afternoon. And a free kick holding the ball against the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, set him an absolute shocking task there. Did Daniel Day, I think it was, that gave the handball back inside to Aaron Cornelius.
Okay.
Put him under all sorts of pressure.
So Jason Bird takes the free kick. Kicked a valuable goal for the Sharks in that second term against the Breeze. And Southport can go forward once again. Weymouth out after it. Trying to chase after the ball where is Bresnahan, who now traps the ball. Got the handball inside. Put Tuckanesis under pressure. Trying to work it out of the defensive zone now through Crisp. He's tackled at the last minute though. Longa needs to get the kick in. He does so. And he finds a target there. Is that Day. And he goes in short. Looking for Cornelius. He goes to ground. Still in the Lions half forward line. Now the umpire pings out a free kick. Once again going against the Brisbane Lions. And Southport will take the free kick. Might be the little play there in Burge once again.
Been a terrific player this afternoon, Burge.
Sends the ball out wide. And checking who it is out there. Might be Keel. Sends a long ball in. And free kick going to the ruckman now, Weymouth. So 2 goals kicked in this third quarter to the Sharks. Try to look for a third one here. The ball goes through the hands of Glenn Screech. Coming in rolled over is Paparone. Over to Carnesis, does the 1-2. Got the kick away. And the mark taken out there by Brisbane. And moved the ball further afield to Bartlett. Playing almost 15 minutes in the third quarter.
He's now a really key player, is Callum Bartlett, with the other 2 guys that we mentioned before leaving the game. He's now going to be very, very important for Brisbane.
And amazingly, this quarter, saw the first quarter of the play on the broadcast side here. Most of the play in this third quarter.
And you would have thought
the furthest part of the ground.
That's the hardest place to attack from, out that side, right in the teeth of the Breeze.
Exactly. So the ball now with Dynan, slung to the ground. Longer looking for a teammate running past, missed him. And the ball's gone out of bounds. With Southport leading at 5-17-47. The Brisbane Lions 5-1-31. Reading the news, Banfield and O'Brien out for the Brisbane Lions.
Just a couple of scores from around the grounds here too, Brownie. Aspley at half-time lead Labrador 7-6-48 to 4-3-27. And full-time in the Belconnen Broadbeach game, Belconnen have got up 118 to 83 over Broadbeach.
So Bad luck there for the other Gold Coast team involved there this afternoon in Broadbeach. But in this game, the Sharks are leading it, and the Lions are struggling to get the ball into their forward line and then able to convert. As Crisp getting a few possessions in this third quarter. Lose a long left foot kick up towards, once again, the scoreboard side of the ground, but it's quickly repelled by Southport. What can McKeever do now? The Irishman has a handball over the top to Richard Newell. He's caught in a tackle. Missed his target to Crisp. Ducking the head, trying to get out of trouble there was McKeever. And now the Lions have the ball up towards Michael Close. He's got a bit of space. McNeven tried to tackle, but Close has strolled through. Gets the ball on his right boot. Cornelius underneath the ball, couldn't hold the mark. Good defensive work there by Mallon. Put the ball there back to Tommy Daniel for Southport, and he finds a target just inside the fence at 50, and Southport can relieve the pressure in Tyson Cruz.
I think it's Kurt Nicholas down there on Cornelius Browning,
okay.
But he's been terrific in the last couple of contests.
A lot of solidly built players, similar build there down there for Southport. A strong team, and a pass there from Weymouth, and beautifully marked by Burge, juggling attempt. He's got McCanch and also Daniel waiting over here. The ball now is switched towards the broadcast side, and the lead is on now on the half-forward flank. Fraser Pope after it, goes one way then the next. Beautiful left foot kick and finds a target, and Benny Merritt. So celebrating a milestone game number 24, game 150. And right on the half-forward flank, he's looking for a bit more support. He's really kicking mainly to teeth the breeze here. Allows some space. Good punch away there from Burke. Who's at the back of the pack though for Southport? Hughes picks the ball up, has a snapshot at goal. And the big fella's not having much luck with the big six this afternoon. I think it's about his fourth or fifth behind. And move on to 5-18-48 Southport. 17-point lead over Lions. Still scoreless in this third quarter. 5-1-31. And we've played just over 18 minutes. The ball goes back inboard. Good work by Southport, and Glenn Streets takes a juggling mark. And we've seen a couple of those so far in the third quarter.
And just the cool head of Fraser Pope there, Brownie, to be able to find a target inside 50 without blazing away to the goal square, where he probably thought, I've got the wind at my back here, top of the 50-metre arc, but he was just composed enough to find the right option. And Screech, who's been terrific all day, is taking the mark. A good one-handed juggler.
Can be the first multiple scorer for Southport this afternoon. He celebrates quickly, puts that one straight over the goal umpire's head, and he brings up his second goal of the afternoon. And it's the Southport Sharks 6. They break the half-century barrier. They move to 6-18-54. Now out to a very handy 23-point lead over Brisbane, 5-1-31, coming up to the 20-minute mark of the third quarter.
And you're going to need 4 or 5 goal buffer here, I reckon, to start to feel comfortable. If they can get that lead going now, take it into the last quarter. They've only got probably 5 or 10 minutes left in this quarter. If they can go into the three-quarter time break with that nice 5-goal buffer, then that can give them great confidence going into the last quarter, and just try and hold off the Brisbane Lions thereafter, who are now depleted without Todd Banfield or Jesse O'Brien, who have been called up to the senior group. So very interesting stage of the game right now.
Umpire Stevens bounces the ball down, but a falcon there by Billy Longer. The ball ricocheted off players. Harwood tackled high, will take a free kick, a centre half back. Now what can the Lions do? Of course they scored the only goal in the first quarter against the Breeze, while the Sharks struggled to kick 11 behinds. On this occasion though, the Lions, it's the ones that they're struggling, as Southport have kicked 3 goals, 2 in this term, and held the Lions scoreless. Pope back to his skipper and Wise. Hughes sets himself. Probably went under the ball at the start there. Got a fist in to affect the spoil. McKeever down to a teammate there in Carnesis. Sends the ball out wide to Lachlan Dinan. Players set themselves out there over the back, and going down to the ground was Nicholas. Ball ends up with him once again. As Southport send the ball forward. As McCann set himself, ends up with it, trying to claim the mark. Definitely came for Brisbane Lions player. Now he's wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Super ambitious, Johnny McCann, because nowhere near it getting first hands on it. But
and the umpire in perfect position to see that one as well.
If you want to bomb it in there, that's not the way to score. We've seen that's been the trend of the game, and both coaching staff would be imploring their players to lower the eyes and find the right options.
Mallon just trying to keep his footing. Eventually got it back. He handball over to Mills, looking there for James. Out wide there to Keel. Southport send the ball back into attack. Who's at the back here? Oh, Hughes! He almost didn't believe he had it in his hands, and he almost went at one hand and the ball went to ground. Now the Lions defence under pressure once again. Players dive on top of it. They don't want to concede a goal here, Brisbane. Konesis just punches the ball out. Oh, he copy one high there. The Lions player Bartlett. The Southport have the numbers to form another attack. And from Wise, the ball has been found by Southport to Wade Mills, and we'll go back and have a set shot at goal. So the Lions defence really feeling the pressure in this third quarter.
Well, that sideways chip into that really dangerous area about 30 out, that is the way to go, Brownie. That's where the scoring opportunities have come from, and really Southport have taken a while to work that out.
So Wade Mills, a set shot, as he learnt from his teammates he has. And brings up his first goal of the afternoon. They're converting a lot better in this third quarter, Southport. And Mills brings up his first. And at Southport 7th, 7-18-60. Almost double the score of the Brisbane Lions, who are stagnant on 5-1-31. And I know he's got his options cut short there, Lee Harding, but what else can he do?
Well, really, in terms of their spine, that hasn't been altered at all, the Brisbane Lions. It's just probably those two ground level players, O'Brien and Banfield, have been taken out. But really, that's not to discount what Southport are doing around the forward 50 arc. When they do actually get possession and spot that person up about 30 out, they look $1 million. If they bomb it in there, they've been very wasteful.
So the ball back in the centre, McQuart on the right side, although his kick assistant up and under. Longer goes up, trying to claim the mark, but Billy didn't go 15. And he might get pinged. No, the umpire took a bit of pity on him perhaps there and held up in the tackle. As he wasn't the only one to go for the ball, but perhaps that punch might have been more effective. Quick ball up from the umpire. Longer does the right thing on this occasion, taps the ball down to Crisp. Bartlett on the overlap, picks the ball up wide, but pushed after he kicked it, so the Lions' free kick will go out there to young Nick Hayes, number 43. Trial by 29 points, Brisbane. Oh, going up before acceptances there was Newell, and completely misjudged that wind, and he might have hurt himself on the way back down as well. So Southport the free kick. Keel immediately runs on. What will he do here? Goes out the outer side. Maybe this is the way to go. That's where they've scored their goals so far in this third quarter.
It is, at least
not a lot of play.
Sharing the ball around.
Side. Yep.
Yeah, sharing the ball around, Brandon, I was just going to say, is a much better way to go than just blasting. And when Southport have done this, they have looked really dangerous, as they're doing at the moment. James
goes in short, and the mark. Just trying to pick that up out there on the left foot. Wasn't fine. Pick up in a moment. He goes in short. It's Ben Headland now, takes the mark. Quickly lays it off there to Tom Daniel. Has the big roost from outside 50. 3 players on Hughes. They didn't have much chance. The Lions pick the ball up. The ball outside defensive zone. Youngster there in Henderson. Did some good work at ground level there. And a 1-2 with Michael Close. Close with encouragement from the crowd there. Must have his family up here at Southport. And the ball just bounced off the player there in Batoli Simmons and out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Brisbane trailing by 29 points. 25 minutes gone of the third quarter here at Southport. NEAFL Live TV, Andrew Brown and Craig Sazovich, your commentators for this afternoon's match. McQuarrie dives on the ball. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again.
What it has done with O'Brien and Banfield, it's robbed a lot of run from the Lions. The ability to run the ball up into the breeze is almost non-existent at the moment for the Brisbane Lions.
And the Southport midfielders and the strong midfielders such as Mallon there on that occasion getting on top. His kick was misdirected though. They're plenty of numbers in the centre, but the Lions defending well. Now here's a chance for Paparone. He's going to go on a bit of a run, but Brock Askey's got a bit of pace and chased him down well, the Southport player. Now a chance for Thine. He goes in. Tries to extract the ball from the bottom of the pack, and the umpire once again forced to throw the ball up right next to the centre circle.
And really Marco Paparone should have continued to run there, Brownie. He had his man beaten and has got good leg speed himself, should have carried it another 20 or 30 metres.
The ball flushed out now towards Hayden Keel. Lose the tackle of Paparone there, so coach wouldn't be happy to him on the second front of that occasion. Down a one-on-one contest, Burge. No, it's Screech. Or kick off the ground there against the Brisbane Lions. Play out of bounds to the full. So Screech will get the free kick here. No, it goes back to his teammate. And elects to go in short, looking there for James and finding him. Long way from home though. The short lead to Daniel is ignored.
So the numbers are back now. They've really got to look short, but the long
he's
bomb,
on the barrel. Off the side of the boot. Hughes in the middle of two had absolutely no chance.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, we've watched that all day long. Why would you do it? Why would you keep doing it? Really, when Southport have been patient around the arc and been really deliberate about trying to find someone loose between 30 and 50 out, that's when they've looked great, Brownie. But the long bomb, that just has not worked at all day.
So from the boundary throw in, Perron, what can we do with the ball here? Just kicks the ball out. Well, Michael Close has got 3 to beat out there. One of them is Keel. I'm sure we're happy to see the ball over the line. In fact, that's where it goes. At least they've cleared their defensive zone. Approaching three-quarter time here at Southport. Sun is back out.
So 29 points, that's that 5-goal lead we were talking about. Question is it going to be enough?
4 goals, 2 in this third quarter to Southport, and have kept the Lions scoreless. Beautiful roving off the pack to the mummified player there, and a right foot shot at goal. The bandage around the face. Well, that would have been a handy goal for Southport too at three-quarter time, and they know it as well as that Burge, is it? He must have had an injury. Just waiting for him to turn around.
Yeah, that's Jason Burge by the look of things, who's
had some running repairs.
Trying to disguise himself from us.
So into the final term, Southport will have a 30-point lead. No, in fact it is got the new jumper there, number 46 too. It doesn't help, it's on the list. So it looks like Burge anyway.
I reckon it's Burge with the new jumper, mate.
With the blood on the jumper there, number 29. But anyway, goal kickers quickly for the Brisbane Lions. Aaron Cornelius 2, singles to Bartlett, Banfield and Paparone. And for Southport, their only multiple goal scorer, Glenn Screech. He has 2 singles to Pope, Thine, Mills, Burge and McCanish. And they did all the heavy work. They need to now control the last quarter. Craig Sarcevic.
Yeah, they do. Now it's going to be a matter of just chewing up enough time in the last quarter to make it impossible for the Lions to bang on some goals. That 30-point buffer that we're talking about, well, it's bang on 30 points now. So the Lions have got to score as many goals as they have for the whole game to break even or win the game. So really tough ask for the Brisbane Lions. They've lost 2 key senior players, been pulled out of the team at half-time to go up to the senior group. So really from that point of view it's going to be very difficult for the Lions. Having said that, most of their spine is intact and their centre bounce crew is also intact, with Longer doing really well on the ruck and Callum Bartlett doing well. So from that point of view I reckon we're in for a really good last quarter.
Three-quarter time, Southport 7-19-61, Brisbane Lions 5-1-31. Final quarter about to get underway here at Southport on the Gold Coast between the home team, the Southport Sharks, up against the Brisbane Lions reserves team. And it's the Southport Sharks leading by 30 points at the final change, trying to inflict the Lions reserves' first loss of the season. Andrew Brown and Craig Sarcevic with you here on NEAFL Live TV. As umpire Andrew Stevens holds the ball aloft, about to get the final quarter underway. The Brisbane Lions, though, kicking with the aid of a fairly healthy breeze in this final term. And Harwood gets the all-important first centre clearance. What can they do here? They're the goal kickers. A chance now for Day. Gets the handball, sends the ball out wide to Hayes. This will be the great start for Brisbane if they can manufacture a goal, but it's only a minor score. Only the second behind of the afternoon, after Southport have managed 19 minor scores. So they bring that margin back to within under 30 points. A quick kick in there by Southport, no, and the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play.
And Harwood into the midfield for the Lions there, Andrew, and Niall McKeever gone forward for the Lions also. So a couple of very nice changes.
So from that boundary clearance, they'll get the ball clear, and Pope sees the ball over the line for Southport. So boundary throw in takes place. Weymouth up against Longer. And good work there by Harwood. Has tried hard this afternoon. Kick smut off the boot though by kick from Newell by Hayden Keel, the veteran, and sees the ball once again over the line.
He's going to be a key player for him this quarter, I would have thought, Ryan Harwood. He spent most of the game across half back, but already picked up a couple of possessions.
So Harwood now from the boundary throw in. runs the ball on the boundary line, and mark taken well by the Southport skipper there in Wise. He goes inboard and finds McQualter. So we saw the third quarter, the Southport midfield really got on top, didn't they, of their Lions opponents, with Banfield and missing.
They did, and they're going to really have their work cut out from now, Andrew, with the Lions coaching staff throwing all the big names into the midfield group right now.
So, and there's one of them, Cornelius, he loves those. You can see him coming from behind the pack. He read the breeze beautifully. And Aaron Cornelius takes the mark in the bright sunshine there. It's an absolute screamer. And we'll go back and try and kick his third goal of the afternoon. Kicked the only goal between the two teams in the first quarter. And it's his second in the second term. Kept goalless. In fact, the Lions were scoreless in the third quarter. Can he open the scoring in the fourth and final term? He can. Magnificent kick. Number 44, Aaron Cornelius, brings up his third goal for the afternoon. And the first of the final term goes to the Brisbane Lions. So they're on their way back. 6-2-38, trailed by 23 points over Southport. 7-19-61. And we've played almost 4 minutes of the final quarter.
Well, Kurt Nicholas has been terrific on Aaron Cornelius all day today, Brownie, and really on that occasion he was just caught in a bad spot. He was just a little bit under the ball, and Aaron had a nice jump and run at the football. But I don't know whether the Lions want to go that way all the time in terms of getting it in long for Cornelius to rely on to just take the mark. But if there's one player that can really turn this game and kick multiple goals quickly, it's probably Cornelius.
Kicked 8 goals last week, has 3 goals this afternoon. Full forward for the Brisbane Lions reserves. As the bounce down, Longer and Weymouth have battled manfully, both of those players, right throughout the afternoon in these tough breezy conditions. The ball kicked out towards the Lions half forward line. Cornelius got the ball again, he goes inboard to Harwood. Here's a chance for Day, his eyes light up. He sets sail for home and he manages it beautifully. Daniel Day, 2 goals in a minute there for Brisbane. And the Lions, well, they're storming back. He kicks his first for the afternoon, the number 60. And Brisbane 7-2-44. Setting the cat amongst the pigeons. The Sharks 7-19-61. Margin back to 17 points.
Fantastic finish by the young fella, Andrew. He's had his hands on the ball plenty of times today. And the composure just to balance himself, left footer, and just finished off really nicely was good. But the player that will be giving Norm Dare nightmares at the moment is definitely Ryan Harwood. A couple of clearances already, got the ball just outside the top of the 50 here and set up that forward entry. Harwood is the key.
Another beautiful bounce there by the umpire, this time Ryan Downs. And what can Southport do? James, he couldn't get clear. Plenty of pressure being applied by a couple of more experienced Brisbane Lions players. On that occasion, Carnesis wrapped up in a tackle. And there'll be a secondary bounce. Or ball up, of course. Weymouth trying to send the ball forward. No one home for Southport on that occasion. Newell sends the ball back, or fumble at the wrong stage there for Brisbane. Allows the Sharks in. Over the top keel to Thine. In fact, it was Mallon over to Thine, and the mark taken by Glenn Screech.
Wow. No 50 either.
No. Brisbane Lions playing across now. Keel, check side. Wrong side. And didn't quite make the distance, or did it? No, behind a score to Hayden Keel. Not enough penetration on that kick into the breeze. Look back out to an 18-point lead. 62 plays 44. Sharks trying to hang on here. Hang on there was Hayes. He tried to get the ball.
That was very good.
He did well. Ball kick further. Dyno overran it though. The Sharks are in here on that outer side. Weymouth at the front position. Harwood showed courage though. Allowed James in. Now Pope. Smack bang in the centre of Southport. Pankhauser reserve, now bathed in sunshine. Still plenty of breeze around. And the mark delivered up forward. And
Mills, I think
Wade Mills out there, number 19. You're right there, Sars. Over to Daniel. Short little, a bit lazy there, James. I'm going for that one. Back to Thine. Ball now come back to Mills. We're seeing a little 1-2 handball, and they're forced to go back. So good defensive pressure there from Brisbane.
Very good, wasn't it, by Brisbane? But Southport have been nice and patient, which is good, keeping possession.
Over the back, Weymouth couldn't claim the mark. McNevin now sends the ball. Screech unmarked. How did that happen? And Lee Harding won't be happy with the Lions defence there. It's hard enough to kick the ball into the wind, but somehow Screech made that space and perfectly pinpoint pass found him.
In between two talls there, and Paparone and Burke too, so I'm not sure whose man he is, but he's been very good today, Screech.
He comes in the right side for a right footer. Goal umpire sets himself, but the ball to the near side. And Southport bring up their 21st behind. 7:21.63, 19-point lead over a more accurate Brisbane. Obviously a lot less scoring shots, 7-2-44. 8 minutes played, fourth and final quarter.
This is where the Lions really do need to throw caution to the wind, so to speak, and really just play on quickly and move the ball quickly. I don't think the chip around out of half-back's going to help them. I think they can really rattle the opposition if they get the ball moving quickly.
And some of the players also need to conserve a bit of energy with Banfield and O'Brien unable to be used the second half of this game. Only two fit players on the bench. Longer gets rid of Weymouth. Umpire said it was okay. Fine. Over there to Pope. Another possession. He's had numerous this afternoon. Jordan Burke under pressure now. Last line defence. Got the ball over there to a teammate. Burke will risky kick off the ground though. We'll find Henderson, number 52. And he's brought down though by McQualter close to the boundary line, but Paparone goes in to help. Now Pope's unmarked here towards the centre corridor. Short kick and the lead is on, and the mark taken by Keel. Forward pocket, misdirected kick, not sure who it was to.
Yeah, terrible, wasteful opportunity. They look a hell of a lot better when they just spot people up, you know, on the short 20 to 30 metre kick, but when they go long, they've really coughed it up all day today, Southport. And
I haven't minded the game from Michael Close this afternoon. He's tried hard. One of the youngsters, many youngsters for Brisbane, only had 14 listed players for this match this afternoon, and of course now 2 of them are missing. So Longer has the ball. It's a high up and under. Once Paparone to set himself, he likes to go the spoil. It was affected down to Crisp. Back to Paparone, high up and under. Cornelius the front position, score behind, chance for Harwood. Ball still in the... Oh, Harwood tacked around the neck there. Has the umpire seen it that way? He does. Umpire number 14, playing against the Southport skipper. Number 14 there, and Danny Wise. And the free kick will go to the Lions skipper for the day in Ryan Harwood. Well, and he deserves a goal.
He earned himself the free kick, didn't he, Andrew? He attacked the football, had his head down, lower and harder than the opposition, and they were clumsy enough to not get the tackle in the right area, and the resultant free kick.
So Harwood on an angle, has he squeezed it through? He has. So the comeback continues for the Lions. They bring up their half century now. They're 8-2-50. Trial by only 13 points to Southport, 7:21.63. And around the 11-minute mark of the final quarter. Plenty of time left for both teams.
Absolutely. And the man who sparked their first couple of clearances of this quarter out of the centre, Ryan Harwood, bobs up forward and earns himself a goal as well. I'm not too sure the Lions can afford the luxury of keeping him in the forward 50 too long. He'll be needed up around the ground, but we've certainly got a game on our hands now, that's for sure.
Yes, and a good crowd in attendance. Plenty of cars, as you can see, parked around the surrounds here at Fankhauser Reserve. Once again, the sunlight disappears, makes things a little bit cooler. But the ground in magnificent condition.
How long before Norm Dare drops a player back, Browning?
Yeah, we're still 1-on-1 at this stage.
7 defenders. I think it might be around about now I'd be doing it.
Southport went to the final term with a 30-point lead. The Lions are sawing back with the aid of a strong breeze. Oh, and Carnegie being dumped there was James. Umpire called play on. No, now pushing the back. And went one way then the next on the free kick.
Just the overzealous tackle by the big fella. It's a little bit stiff, but probably there.
Forced to move on, James. Now he's going to go out wide. Player on the outer wing there.
That's now in a worse position, Browning, I would have thought, the way the wind took it.
It just allows the Lions players there to go up and gather over that side of the ground. And a push in the back. And being held. Free kick there goes to...
Yeah, the other way.
Made the way.
And actually, that's a complete
That's unfortunate because...
by the umpires. Terrible, because initially called it the wrong way. Clearly the free kick was to the Brisbane Lions player, but the Southport guys had no idea. And are actually explaining their case right now. So Not the greatest bit of work by the boys in green this afternoon. Confusion everywhere.
So it does bring the Lions a great opportunity to score once again. Where's Cornelius? Well, that's just the classic example how the wind has an effect on the players. They thought, Kurt Nicholas there thought there was nowhere, any chance to get near that. And Cornelius read it better. The ball beat the pack. He took the mark on the chest in his hand.
Just reads it really well, doesn't he? Very, very smart player, Aaron Cornelius. If the work rate picks up, he'll be a regular senior player.
Trying for goal number 4. Makes no mistake, a shake of the fist. And the margin is narrowed once again. Now to only 7 points. 9-2-56. Accurate kicking in the conditions. Trail Southport by 7 points. 7:21-63. 14 minutes gone, fourth quarter. And Cornelius brings up his 4th for the afternoon.
And just as you said that, mate, we've got a Southport player coming off the blood rule, I believe. Just trying to make out who it is coming off. But in the meantime, the Lions keep piling them on, and it's probably time for Southport to look at restructuring how they set up here. Already, just the way they're lining up here, the wingers are in traditional spots. I'd certainly have them a little bit more defensive and probably even entertain the thought of having a spare defender. But the Lions are certainly on a roll, and Cornelius and Harwood and Longer have been very prominent this quarter.
Might have been Screech, I think. I thought it was the number 1 Gurdsey being taken off. Yes, it might be Glenn Screech, in fact. So he'll come out with a different jumper on. And we're also waiting for the new ball to be returned.
So now we have got the spare Southport defender out there, Andrew, who's not in the greatest spot, I might add, but he's trying to get himself into a dangerous position. But
well, one big kick out of one clearance there for Lions will certainly beat that trap at the moment.
Southport have reacted.
Bounce takes place. Longer used his height over Merritt well. They couldn't tap the ball though. Burge though picks the ball up, eludes a Longer tackle, sends the ball down towards the forward line. Lions defence under pressure. They did well. Get the ball out here to McQualter though for Southport. Little chip kick. And the mark taken by Eddie Mallon.
So that means the Lions now have their spare down there too, Brownie. It's Jordan Burke. He's just going to make sure that he gets himself in a dangerous attacking position on the way out.
Good sport behind there by Nick Patoli Simmons, as Harwood tried to run the ball out. Newell's driven to the ground, and the umpire will throw the ball up. Southport hanging on in this final term by 7 points. Top of the table clash. Lions trying to keep their unbeaten record for this season intact. And of course the Southport have only lost 1 game so far this season. Players dive on top of it. Umpire will be forced to come in and throw the ball up once again. This time though, the ball has made its way inside, attacking 50 for Southport. And in fact, at that end of the ground, there's been no score in the second half. The Lions failed to score. I should say the Sharks have managed a behind or 2, but there's certainly been no goals at that end of the ground. The Sharks managed to kick 3 goals against the Breeze in the second term.
So some heavy artillery up forward now for the Lions with Carnesis, Cornelius and McKeever all up forward.
Fletcher Barclay takes the rest. Daniel Day comes on there for Brisbane interchange. Ball spills out to Hayes. Needs to get rid of the ball. He did so. He found Harwood. Has been good this afternoon. Is this Cornelius going for another jump from behind? He did though. Eventually it was spoiled though. Eddie picks the ball up. Back to his opposite number 2, and Harwood will take the safe mark. Player loose in the middle there was Newell. Went to play on. Forced to go back though. He's got players loose on the other side. The ball over the head of Paparone. If the ball sits for him, he'll have a chance for a shot at goal. He does that from outside 50, but it's a wide kick and through for a minor score.
Well, the kick didn't help him from Richard Newell, but Marco Paparone probably could have done a little bit better there, but the Lions are coming, no doubt about that.
1 straight kick in it, 57. The Lions trail. The Sharks are on 63. Plenty of time left in this last quarter. Only just over halfway through. Burge, wearing the new number, 46, was wearing 29. And he sends the ball out wide there to Nicholas. Sends Daniel on a task, close to the boundary line. And he cannot keep the ball in play. We've been handy though, if he was able to do so. Get a bit of a run on.
It all breaks down, doesn't it? They've got to keep the ball flowing. Both teams are now starting to feel the effects of the game. Bit of fatigue setting in, so the team that keeps running is some chance here.
Haven't seen Weymouth lately. Merritt doing a lot more of the ruck work. Ball in the half-back line for Southport. Wise to Daniel, to McNevin. Push out there by Pope. Legal said the umpire. Bit of strength there, takes the mark. Immediately plays on, looking there for McCanch over his head. And also the head of Dinan. McCanch, we run too far. Good tackle there by Burke. Hold proceedings. Hughes under pressure. Have a left foot snap. Cleve Hughes. Can he get his first goal of the afternoon? He has. What a valuable goal it is for the Sharks. Timely goal by Cleve Hughes. And that sends the margin back out to 2 straight goals and 12 points. 8-21-69 Southport. Brisbane Lions 9-3-57. 18 minutes played, final quarter.
And that's the value of someone willing to take on the opposition like John McCanch did across half forward there for Southport. Took him on. He's got good leg speed. He's got confidence in his legs. Took him on. Nearly got caught, but eventually got the ball out to Cleve Hughes, who was good enough to finish. So that's the quality player that he is. With AFL experience, he was able to finish off and kick the goal.
And good work too by Fraser Pope on the outer side as well. But Harwood over to Crisp. Over to our teammate there, and Hayden Batoli-Simmons. Back into attack go, Brisbane go, chopping off. There's the hand, the extra man of defence that occasion.
Yeah, it's definitely working for them now. They're getting guys into the right spots just to block up those holes in front of McKeever and Cornelius.
And the mark taken out the outer side there by Keel. Number 3, they want to slow things down, perhaps not too early to do that. That was Danny Wise who took the relieving mark, now 50 metres as well. So last couple of minutes been good for Southport. And does that 50 make up for the previous 50 go to the Brisbane Lions?
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, you don't need that sort of just lapse in concentration there by Nick Hayes, I think it wasn't, the man on the mark. And your team really doesn't need that slight lack of discipline at this stage of the game.
So Keel, he likes to go out wide and finds Burge there. His face wrapped up in a bandage, goes over the top. And David James, the experienced wingman. He loves those outer spaces here at Frank Hauser Reserve. And they are using a bit of time now, Southport. It's still a bit too early to do that.
Yeah, the Lions just pushing him back. Probably not working the mark as hard as you'd like, but just pushing him back a bit and denying them the forward entry that they need.
Merritt had the front position, the ball punched away from him. Over to Askey. James close to the boundary line. Oh, the ball's still in play. Player stopped there for a moment. The ball comes back to James. He had 3 players to beat. Merritt overran the ball. Missed kick there by the Brisbane Lions as well. Now they eventually get it free, but Southport now setting up the numbers behind the ball. Oh gee, a poor fumble there on that occasion by Cruz. They'll get the ball back though from a handball from Burge. Over to skipper Danny Wise. Wise now 25-metre kick. Good sport behind there by Crisp. A chance here for Brisbane. Crisp, he loves taking the opposition on. He does so now to Harwood. Harwood, his short kick, and dropping the mark there was McKeever. Cornelius there for support. Out wide, Mays, he has a shot at goal. And I think he's put it through. Is that Hayes there from the coming down on the half-forward line?
Yeah, Nick Hayes with the goal there, Brownie, but a terrific build-up by the Lions. To be able to take advantage of some sloppy work through the midfield there by Southport. The danger with chipping the ball backwards is you're only a possession away from maybe making a mistake and coughing it up. And if you've got the wind against you as well there, Brownie, you're really asking for trouble. And that's eventually what happened there with Southport. A really good turnover in the middle there by Jack Crisp too, I might add, who was able to feed the hand pass out to the man of the quarter, Ryan Harwood, who must have had 6 or 7 or 8 possessions by this stage. So again, they're close.
They certainly are. I do have close playing for them as well.
Nice one.
One straight kick in it once again, and Brisbane with the centre clearance. And through that man, Jack Crisp. And not quite able to get his hands on the ball. Occasion was Dylan Bresnahan. Players time. Got high there was Bresnahan. So I'll take the free kick in the end. He was the first one to get his hands on the ball.
It was going to go one way or the other, wasn't it? He was either going to get pinged for diving on it or earn himself the free.
Looks the ball, set the ball up. Kinesis meeting the sandwich. Pepperone a chance. Good ball there by Wise. Still a chance for Pepperone. Can he pick it up? He can. He dribbles it through. Scores level here at Southport. And Pepperone brings up his second goal of the afternoon. 10 11-3, 69 rather. Brisbane Lions and Southport 8-21-69. 23 minutes gone, final term. We've got a thriller between the top two teams here on NEAFL Live TV. Ball back going towards the centre.
It's a strange one, isn't it? It's the mindset of protecting a lead versus the mindset of you've got nothing to lose and just bomb it forward or get it forward and attack and take risks. And the Lions are certainly that way at the moment. It's just interesting now to see whether that psychology changes again. And Southport are the ones that become the nothing to lose and attack.
So all important bounce down. Weymouth back in the ruck, but they're getting that clearance there through Jack Crisp, doing some fantastic work there.
Starting to come into it, Paparone.
So number 22 helping to drive the Lions back on attack. Cornelius will watch it from behind. He went up and couldn't take the mark though. Southport defence under pressure. Wise there, the skipper, helping them out. Quick kick over the handball to Daniel, only as far as Dave. Could have had a shot at goal there, had that much time. Elects to go back, way back outside 50. And he finds big Billy Longer.
Not a bad option, actually. Billy should be looking...
He's going to back himself here.
I'd be looking sideways, Billy, at this point in time, although any score's a good score at this point in the game.
Any score will put the Lions in front. Well, they want the major. They've come from 30 points down at the start of the quarter, Brisbane. And they knew they had the breeze at their back. And Longer comes in. Weymouth standing the mark. It's a high kick. It's catching the breeze. It's going to be a close run thing. It beats the pack. It's through. And Big Billy gets his first for the afternoon. Well, you said the Lions had to double their score. They kicked up for the first three quarters. They've done that and more. They've now kicked 7 goals too. Full credit to the Lions for their accuracy in the final term as well. Kicked 7 goals too in this final term. And Southport Sharks 1 goal too. And the visitors, the top of the table leaders, have the margin by 6 points.
A bit of credit there for number 60, Daniel Day, who not only kicked that goal with great composure early this quarter, Andrew, but also had the composure to chip back towards Billy Longer there outside the 50 to set up that scoring chance.
Approaching the 25-minute mark. And now it's all a desperation for Southport. They've battled so hard. But that first quarter, they kicked 11 behinds only. Looks like it might be coming back to haunt them. And Bird's wrapping up his opponent, a tackle there in Hayden Batoli-Simmons. Of course, keep in mind, the Lions, without the use of O'Brien, as well as Banfield for the second half, so it's been a brave effort from these young Lions as well.
It's been fantastic. When you take 2 off the interchange bench, it's going to be hard for any team, let alone the AFL-listed players, and they've battled away really well.
As has this man in the ruck, had to do it virtually all himself this afternoon. Or tackled high there was Longer. And I'm sure Jason Bird's disappointed with that attempt.
What's a ruckman doing at ground level, getting his hands on the ball, Andrew? But great work, Billy Longer, to earn yourself a free.
Well, we know the wrap's on him. Sets it for the player out wide, going up high. Well, there was Michael Close, can bring the ball down, tackled high there for was the Southport player to take the resultant free kick. Weymouth there by himself. They need to quickly move the ball now, Southport. Time ticking away in this final quarter. Big mark required. Hughes hits himself. Burge is there. Burke has been on Hughes' hammer all day though. McCanch over to Screech. McQualter. No set shot. Over to Keel. Tackle at the wrong stage. McQualter thought Starts got to have a shot for goal then. So Chris now brings the ball out of defence for Brisbane. Newell with plenty of support in the crowd. Over to Day. Does the 1-2. Bounce. Back to him. Running in the centre, Bartlett on tired legs. How much has he got left? Cruz beating for the ball though. Pope, the crowd comes to life. Out wide is Screech in the new jumper, number 30. Gets the ball on the left boot. Out to McCanch. Finds the target. Southport a chance. Mills by himself at centre-half forward. That's ignored. Hughes takes the mark. In the left forward pocket.
That's great rebounding footy there by Southport. Fantastic work across half-back to intercept that bouncing ball for Callum Bartlett, and then a chain of possession up forward now. And great finish there by John McCanch to find Cleve Hughes.
What a task he's got though, the number 7. Hard up against the boundary line. Kicking into a breeze as well.
Impossible pocket, would you say, Brownie?
Almost, like at Amy Stadium. And natural enough is to hook the ball slightly, and it's only through for a minor score. But if they can keep the ball in and get a major, they'll be back in front. At the moment, they trail by 5 points. It's 70 plays 75 in favour of Brisbane. Harwood wants to kick the ball to himself and just bomb it out of that danger zone. And he does. He clears the fence at 50. And a free kick given away there by Cruz. I thought it had the mark there. Instead it goes to the Brisbane Lions and McKeever. Finds Hayden Batoli Simmons, number 58. Getting his hands on the ball. Just want to hold the ball up. Now it becomes man 40 for Southport. Need to get the ball off the Lions here. 28 minutes gone.
It does, although I'm not 100% sure this is great when you've got the breeze. I would have thought getting it to your end of the ground and then creating all the stoppages would be the way to go.
And they got one here as the ball trickles out of bounds between wing and half forward for Brisbane.
Just get it out of the opposition's forward 50, particularly if you've got the breeze, and get it down your end and make it impossible for them to bring it out again.
Never easy to come down to Southport here, play against the Sharks in their home turf. After giving away a 5-goal lead, they're looking pretty good at the moment. Carnesis looking for Cornelius and finds him. And he's going to take all the time in the world, number 44, to go back and have a set shot for goal. He's on the boundary line, but it makes it a little bit easier when you're kicking with the breeze. You can set that ball out towards the left-hand goal post.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough spot too, Andrew, but again, any shot at goal and any score is going to be very, very handy here. What's he got for the core? He's already kicked two
goals for the quarter. And Cornelius comes in, the boundary umpire running beside him as the shot at goal, and misses off target there, through for a minor score. So it makes it one straight kick, so a draw still in the cards. Craig Starcevic.
That'll be a nice result, really, wouldn't it? But Southport have got some work to do to get it out of this back 50.
Long way from home. Oh, he's going to try and beat the tackles. How far did he ran? Too far, said the umpire. The Southport skipper tried bravely, but has coughed the ball up. And the free kick now going to the Brisbane Lions.
We've seen guys get away with more, I've got to say. He was a bit stiff there, Danny Wise, but the free kick was probably going to be there at some point. But
up to Bresnahan here. Any score, make it really hard for Southport. He's tried to thread it through. He lays it back and sneaks it through. He gets his first for the afternoon. And it now makes it a 12-point game in favour of the visitors, the Lions reserves. 13-4-82. Once again, tremendous kicking though by Brisbane this afternoon. And Southport, with 13 more scoring shots and 30 overall, are stuck on 8 goals, 22 behinds and 70.
You're right, mate. That 30 scoring shots to 17 is going to make for some painful viewing for the Southport coaching staff when they review the game, because those 11 behinds in the first quarter are it's really the story of the day, isn't it, in terms of how things have unfolded since.
If they managed to split it 5-6 or 6-5, they would have given them a really handy lead, that 5-goal lead. Well, we thought might be handy enough by three-quarter time. In the end, it wasn't. So we've played over 30 minutes here. Final quarter, siren can't be too far away. Umpire wants the ball back to throw it up. Went outside the second circle.
The other thing, the extra defender, which they've gone away from again now, Southport, I don't think it really helped too much. It probably stemmed the tide there for a brief period, but pretty hard when the opposition's got momentum.
Pope tried hard there for Southport in the centre clinches, got the clearance. He found Birch, and he sends a long kick. Front position, Mills gets his hands on the ball. Or is it Hughes? So it is Hughes. And they need to take this kick quickly. Try and bring up his second goal of the afternoon. With time running out for the home team. Goes back and makes no mistake. Good kick. Kept it low into the breeze, which is what you need to do. Straight over the goal umpire's head. And, well, is our hope yet? Back to one straight kick. Southport 9-22-76. Brisbane Lions 13-4-82.
Well, Andrew, after the first three quarters really didn't go much past 25 or 26 minutes because of the relatively small number of goals kicked. We've had a swag of goals kicked this quarter, so
total of 10.
Already the quarter's out to 30 minutes. So this centre clearance absolutely critical for Southport.
8 goals for the Lions, 2 for Southport. All important centre bounce. It's a beauty too there for umpire Stevens. But Lions get the clearance. Well done, long straight down to Bartlett. And ends up as far as Wise, so it's in a half back. Out to Burge.
He's got the right idea. Move it quick.
Who's up there? Headland. He gets him, and look at those, be 50 metres. Well, we once saw one similar played in the third quarter, which went away the Brisbane Lions.
Absolutely.
Southport supporters were out there, wanted it. Now we need a big mark. Who's up there? Who's going back with the flight of the ball when it was required? Guess who? Big Billy Longer. Went straight for that ruck contest, saw what was happening.
He's had a great game, well predicted too, got himself into the defensive spot really well.
And they're the sort of things that can win you spots in the senior team, no doubt, perhaps later in the season. But Lions get the ball forward, got the numbers now. Bresnahan over the top. Now got the numbers. This could be it here. Running with the ball there, Paparone runs in, has the shot at goal. Goal number 3 for Paparone. That should be the sealer for Brisbane.
Well, it's that stage of the game, isn't it? It's all or nothing, and Southport certainly were on the attack then, and the big mark by Billy Longer, and then the rebound footy found a couple of spares out the back there, and Marco Paparone was the beneficiary, getting on the end of it. And nice finish from about 52, a couple of bounces on the way through, and really nice finish. And he's had a good afternoon, Brownie, as have quite a few of his Lions teammates, albeit, as we've been saying, without a couple of really key midfielders that left the field at half-time.
Of course, he was instrumental as well in stifling the Sharks in that first quarter, kicking those 11 behinds by being stationed down there in defence as well. Paparone's got 2 goals in the final term for his reward, a total 3 for the afternoon. And there it is! Two Southport players hang their heads down. They battled hard this afternoon. But in the end, the Brisbane Lions youth and the run in the final quarter, all too much. Brisbane running out winners by 12 points, 88-76.